What up, Biddy?
What up? What up? What up? What up?
Yeah, they look good though. Some of the ones had dope ass view.
I mean,
one of the more expensive one was capping about the view though. So it's you get the skyline of the city and the ocean. All right, so it's mostly ocean because where the skyline is so far over on the right side of the patio that you only really seeing like a little section of
you can lean over the balcony.
No, hell no. Hell no. That motherfucker is high as shit. Nah, bro. Nah, man. I was feeling away in the one that we was in. When I was like looking over, nah, big. Nah. Hell no. Not the kid.
Don't be scared.
Too late. Too late. Fuck that. It was a dope ass view and all, but like I would go only so far to the little barricade part to protect you from going over. Like I might lean on it a little bit, but I ain't going crazy over there. Nah, nigga. All I kept thinking of, what is the thoughts that goes to somebody's head as they're plummeting to the Nah.
I'll tell you what, one of them.
What's that? Mighty Mike.
What's the last thing I ate?
Last thing you ate?
That might be one of them.
Oh. No, it's not it. Mine is like, I'm such a dumbass. What up, sis?
What up, sis? Somebody might be like, oh, this is actually peaceful.
Yeah, all right. It ain't the fault of Kenji. It's that sudden stop. No, B. Look, after seeing Black Widow fall off the top, I ain't B. Shit. Nah. Hell no. I'm good on that.
I think you're being a little hard. A little harsh on it.
I know that ground was hard. The ground was hard as shit. Fuck that. The thing is, though, I think where we was at, I probably wouldn't make it all the way down to the lower depths because there was a pool with, other shit before you get. That's still far enough for me to die out that motherfucker, though. Like, nah.
Yo, Mike said my last thought. Damn, Landon's trolling again. Here's the thing. No matter when it happens, you're probably right.
Yeah, that's probably the reason I'm going over is because I was trolling and fucked up. I'm over that motherfucker.
No, that's a good thought. That's a good thought. Damn, I miscalculated.
Right. Yo, listen, I can definitely see like, nah, yo, I'm not. No, I'm being extra careful with shit like that. And don't get me wrong, I do want to live up kind of high, right? But nah, big. Nah.
No, so I've only told 2 people this ever. So you know the concept of intrusive thoughts, right?
Yes.
That shit happens all the time when I'm near like a window or like a so I'm like, yo, what if I just jumped? Like
I know, right? Like right now, if I just Geronimo, like,
yo, we was on the cruise because we had balcony room. When we was on the cruise, I'm like, if I just, dove in, and we all be on the 6th floor of a cruise.
Nigga.
That's going like 20 knots.
That's high enough. That's high, nigga. Shit.
What if I just dove off? Like, would they stop and
do what?
Just wait for me to catch up.
It depends on who the captain is. So if it's Captain Tombstone, you on your own. I got a schedule to keep, and ain't nobody telling you dumbass to jump off there. What up, Stella?
You not gonna wait for me to catch up, yo?
Nigga, You can swim. No, this what I do. Because it's you. Only because it's you. I'm going to grab one of them little round life preservers. Yeah. I may even go so far as one of the lifeboats just drop that shit. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'll take that.
Lifeboat and probably a cell phone. Hey, yo.
I'll take that. That's good enough.
I mean,
I'll be satisfied with that.
Yeah.
Like I forget what fucking country we was in. We were at one of the resorts. I told Marcus, I said, what would you do if I just jumped out this window right here? He was like, try to figure out exactly what I would say to your mother. I'm like, yo, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
You look, sis said, no, they don't stop. They on some bad boy shit. Damn. They don't stop. What they look like stopping for?
I'm just saying, I wonder what happens chemically that make people give into intrusive thoughts like that.
It's definitely
like not somebody that's like wanting to, you know, not it's like that, but just giving into the intrusive.
Definitely some sort of. Man, I watched about 5 debates on free will from a neuroscientist, and it's interesting. It really, like, when you start breaking down all the things that have an effect on your brain chemistry and how your brain develops, particularly early on in your development as just a person,
right?
It's a lot, bro. It's a lot. It's enough to make you question the concept of how we define free will. It's a lot. So it's whatever's happening up there. So I knew that, like, that definitely needs to be studied, because,
or like, what if there was just like a hiccup in the normal process for 3 seconds?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's just like a brief second is a glitch,
bruh.
It's just, what the fuck? Well, you know how you might have it. This person did nothing to you, and you got like a little screwdriver in your hands. What if I jam this screwdriver right in this person's eye?
Yo,
beat on it like this. And then what if your shit glitch at that moment? Hey, yo, just saying.
Yo, you just come to with blood all over the place.
Yo, that used to be a run-on joke with me and my friends growing up. Somebody say something slick to you and shit, and then we just be like, and then I blacked out, Your Honor. And when I woke up, I was here in the courtroom with you, and he telling me I did this to him. That was just a run-on joke. Yo, I think Sean started that shit.
Yo, Lord,
that's what I blacked out.
Lord said, people jumping off cruise ships now. Wait till they start commercial space travel.
Yo, that is crazy.
Talk about an unraveling.
Yeah. That's gonna suck. That's gonna 100% suck.
Oh, we stupid.
Yeah, we are stupid. We at 11:09 at this point. May not be a point in doing the intro.
All right,
fine. Fuck it. We do it live.
I mean, we're always live.
Shoosh.
Okay.
I almost glitched out right there and grabbed my monitor and tossed that shit across the room. Yo, that's gonna be a run-on. I'm telling you, that's
absolutely. Super glitch.
I glitched out. Yo, that shit was so fucking funny, yo.
Right.
Niggas would be talking shit. They be talking like, stand on the porch, yeah, because that's why. And if you do it again, and then the person would be like, that's when I blacked out, y'all. Oh, shit. When I came to, I was missing a shoe.
Not a shoe.
He was sitting funny.
Yo,
Cups on me.
that's funny. That is hilarious.
Man.
All right, let's get this thing on the road.
Hey, I had a show called On the Road.
Oh, okay. Wait, really?
I remember the travel show that I used to do on Reaper Legion Network?
You called it? Oh, right, you did.
Yeah.
I forgot the name, but yes. Okay, right. That makes sense. I mean, it would be somebody like you to name your show
On the Road.
Right. Let's get this show on the road. Okay. Yeah, it would be you. It did absolutely would be you.
Oh, hold up. Yesterday was also the anniversary of my wildlife series. The right. Yep.
Did you share it in commemoration?
No, I didn't.
I
didn't want to.
What up, Charlotte?
The back.
Sure. I feel you on that one. Every time I see something with Neg District on it, I'm like,
I'm so one time. I don't want nobody to think. Because it's possible. Like the tools I have now is way different than tools.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm not gonna be consistent. It's not.
Yeah.
Sean P.
So it's that time of year again, and I feel like every year somehow, even though neither of us watch this, somehow there's at least one topic that makes it out of the fucking Grammys that ends up being a relatively big deal. So I've also had a revelation. It doesn't really change my stance much, but it's more like me having another reason to solidify the stance that I've made, because I saw people, of course, just like every fucking year, rinse and repeat, people on Twitter crying about their favorite black artist not winning, and it's like somebody said something very poignant that I had not considered before. Says, you up there complaining about not winning the Grammys, and then you talk about when you don't win or somebody you likes doesn't win. You talk about how this ain't for us and blah blah this and blah, but why do you keep submitting then?
I mean, Joe, I don't have an explanation for why people do this goofy shit.
Right.
Where their fave or whatever don't win. So then they talk about how illegitimate it is. But then every year,
right?
Have an expectation. Like
both of those things can't be true.
It can't be, because at a certain point
they are directly contradictory,
bro. Like listen, the reason y'all don't see me and SBJ get on this show and rail about this artist or that artist that didn't win this award and that award, because we legitimately don't give a fuck. We legitimately don't look at it as a super authority. We understand the cultural relevance.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also understand in the business, once you've won one of those, you can price goes up. Price goes up, right? So we get the practical, but just the reverence that they've given it, knowing that it's rigged, knowing that they keep saying it's not the way they fuss. It'd be the same folks too. They be fussing over that shit every year, and it's like, when are you gonna go? When you gonna stick the landing on the first thing you said,
right?
Which was, man, that shit ain't for us. It's rigged. It's this. It's that. Then stop fucking with it. You keep putting the prominence and value on it, and then telling us that it ain't that, but you keep doing it. Like, it's maddening.
It's a ball of confusion.
Yeah.
But there was a particular conversation that came out of this because Jay-Z faxed us, because Jay-Z got a lifetime achievement award I forget the actual name of the award, but it was a Lifetime Achievement Award. And he, in his speech, he said some things. One of them, before I get to the actual topic, one of them is what we were just fucking talking about. He got up there and he said, and I didn't even put two and two together until just now when we were having this conversation. He got up there and said, he talked about how the legacy of hip hop in the Grammys and Will Smith with the first one and how he didn't show up, he boycotted, but he went to a hotel and watched it, which really wasn't a boycott. And then he said later on, he did the same thing because DMX, the year that DMX went back to back in the same year, he wasn't even nominated. And because of that, Jay-Z, quote, boycotted. And he also did the same thing Will Smith did and watched it anyway. And then this year, because the reason Jay-Z boycotted was because of DMX, but the reason Will Smith boycotted was because the category wasn't going to be televised.
Right.
And then this year, Jay-Z is there giving an acceptance speech in a year where the category isn't televised. So you are a part of the problem, sir.
Bro. And you know, the other shit that's crazy is how things always tend to return to the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
It started out with it not being televised, and it went back to it not being televised. And this should tell you something,
bruh,
right? But it doesn't. And there is an overarching lesson that needs to happen, and you can use just the Grammys as the proxy for the overall lesson.
Yeah,
but like some of the value we put in these things that we did not make. Somebody said it was right. Somebody said it was right.
Yo, like the biggest scam ever, in my opinion, is Michelin stars.
Bro,
why? Because if the name Michelin sounds familiar, it's because it's the fucking tire company.
Yes, yo.
That is what the Michelin star rated restaurant. It's the tire company.
It's a tire company.
It was a ploy. It was a ploy to sell more tires. It originally started because the Michelin tire company was telling people, hey, you got to go to this restaurant. If you keep telling people they got to go to these different restaurants that are different distances away from each other, they're going to travel to them. And then we can sell more tires. Like, a lot of people don't know that.
Bro.
And it's like,
just, yo, if you look behind most of these awards, you'll see, like, and that's why the value that we place on it, I think a lot of it comes from us being slavish to societal narratives, because if shit is said enough times and then it starts getting repeated by people of note, other people see that, then a lot of the rest of us do the whole lemmings off the cliff shit routine with it. And who knows, maybe that is ingrained programming in the species. Maybe it is. And maybe us railing against it is really useless because it's
there's nothing you can do about it. But
it's ingrained in me it's ingrained in me to complain about the shit.
Absolutely. So here's another part of his speech. And Whoopi decided to get involved. Is Whoopi Goldberg right about Beyonce's Grammy snugs? The EGOT winner weighs in on Jay-Z's explosive, I don't think it was that explosive, Grammy speech, and her reaction will surprise you. Like, to be fair,
I hate these titles.
The reason that it was, quote, explosive is because some people feel like he did a Kanye West to Taylor Swift.
No.
And then on top of that, what was the other thing? Oh, and he said some of y'all don't deserve to be nominated. That's why people are saying this is explosive. It was not explosive.
It wasn't explosive. And
it was Jay-Z being Jay-Z. Like this is his
title. That title is traditional clickbait. I've seen it. I've seen it all everywhere. This shocked the industry.
Right.
God damn it, no, it didn't.
Not really.
No, it didn't.
I would say maybe a mild tremor.
You know how the floor vibrate a little when a heavy book fall? Yeah.
Thanks. Jay-Z's brutally honest speech. And maybe I can give you brutally honest. At the 60th annual Grammys on Sunday still has everyone talking while accepting the Dr. Dre Global, that's what it's called, the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. And everybody was also pointing out the fact that Dr. Dre has the issues in his past that he has as far as beating women. Yep. and other shit like that, and for him to have an award at the other thing I was gonna say, I forgot before I started the goddamn article. What up, Ken? The fact that the best rap album is not televised again it's kind of a sour note. It kind of takes away one of your good faith arguments, Grammys and white people, because before you could argue, it's just not big enough. You could argue that before.
Yeah.
You can absolutely make that argument before, but that was the number one genre. Well, it might not still be, but it's up there. It's in the top 3.
Yeah.
So you can't really make that argument. Anyway, he was accepting the award. The hip hop legend dropped several truth bombs on the Recording Academy, calling him out for never awarding his wife Beyonce the Album of the Year Grammy, even though she has 32 wins, which is the most in history. Is the moment making all the headlines. Never one to mince words. Entertainment legend Whoopi Goldberg had some very pointed thoughts on the 99 Problems rapper's outspoken speech. On Monday's episode of The View, she explained that the fact that the Renaissance art I hate that articles do that. The fact that Beyonce's Grammys come from multiple genres is more impactful than winning Album of the Year. Quote, I kind of appreciate all of that, and they're not for just one thing. So for me, it doesn't matter if they give her that. It's subjective. People are voting. You can't determine who's doing it unless you're the person voted. End quote. Whoopi has forgotten more about winning and losing awards than I will ever know. However, as her co-host Sunny, I don't know her last name. I'm not going to say it. As her co-host Sunny said, there's a part of this continued disrespect that feels like they're saying she's not the pop star the powers that be want. Choosing Harry Styles and Taylor Swift over her makes it clear she's allowed to be awesome as long as she sticks to the R&B and dance/electronic categories. Her nominations for album, record, and song of the year say that the Recording Academy is willing to acknowledge her talent and impact, but she and her collaborators won't be fully rewarded for it. I understand what Whoopi is saying here, but Jay-Z was making a statement to this organization that its disrespect hasn't gone unnoticed. When you combine that with the fact that SZA was the most nominated artist of the night but won 3 awards in R&B categories, a message about where Black women stand in the music industry is being sent. Jay-Z is letting them know that just because we see them unbothered, it doesn't mean we don't see the game they're playing. All right.
All right. So first, I'm still salty that people still quoting Whoopi after Ted dancing blackface and never apologizing to the Black community for that shit. But all right, cool. I get it. It's not that big of it's not that egregious in a country that doesn't value the people that offended. So, all right. Secondly, Jay-Z was just up there defending his wife.
No, hold up. That's my first point that I want to make.
Yeah.
Whoopi, nobody cares what you feel is enough.
Right.
Because here's the thing. Right. Here's the thing. If this would have been a situation where let's say it was actually fucking televised, and Killer Mike got up there and talked about Beyonce and blah blah blah, that would have made more sense, Whoopi, for you to be like, well, I feel, but that's her husband.
Yeah.
It's way more likely
that
what up, free thinker? It's way more likely that his words reflect more closely to her feelings.
That's right.
Than yours would.
That's right.
So that to me feels like you
are overstepping.
Potentially, bruh. Like you're potentially downplaying what that woman wants. Because this was a platform that she may have decided she didn't want to say. Because you don't say, in general, the idea is you don't say these things about yourself because that could cause problems.
Right.
So someone else says it for you. Who else better than your husband, who is not equally as famous, but in the same stratosphere?
Yeah.
Who else better than your fucking husband to relay this mess? So when she starts off like, I feel like this is enough. Who the fuck? Who asked you?
Who asked you to like what? Again,
what are you talking about?
I'm still trying to figure out why her point is valid about anything. That man defending his wife. So from that standpoint, I get it. Because if I felt like it was something my wife wanted, even if I didn't think it was really worth much, but if that's what she wanted, and I looked at the situation and felt like she got disrespected, undervalued, I'm gonna get up there and I'm gonna say something too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck y'all.
Perfect.
Right. So from that standpoint, I can understand and even respect it from that standpoint. Yeah. My other thing is that sometimes we have to start, when you start to see that an organization, an institution, whatever it is, doesn't value you in a way that you feel you have earned for people to look at you as, especially if it's all in the same genre of shit that you all do. This is a club right here. If you feel that way, stop fucking with it. Yeah. And if you got the money, that's the other part of it too. Beyonce and Jay are not some little artists, a couple that maybe went gold here or there, but they weren't really. No,
that's not what's happening.
They got enough money where Blue Ivy's grandchildren are going to be
rich.
I feel like once you count the amount of fans that have been influenced by your work, that love your shit, that spent money on your shit, that provided you with a lifestyle, resources, and all to do these things that the average person is not going to be able to do. The average artist is not going to be able to do. That's your reward. That's the award. That's the award. When you got people that go, oh, I remember I grew up on such music. When you got people that say, yeah, man, that's my favorite. Whenever they drop something, I'm gonna get it. Whenever they do in concert, I'm gonna go see it. And it's not just 10, 15. It's just waves of people. I think I do understand the drive or the pull to be acknowledged by your peers. But are these motherfuckers really your peers?
Bruh.
How many of them
no.
in that Academy thing has done what you and Beyonce did?
Maybe 4. Maybe. Oh, you mean the voters?
The voters, yeah.
Oh, maybe 1.
So are they really your peers? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, there are people who would kill to have their art recognized globally for people to see what they saw when they created it, or see something else but still found value in it, right? There's artists that would kill for that. Y'all got that. And I get, it might be a case of once you've had the adulation for a while, you don't feel it as much because you're used to it. You're used to people coming to you and saying, you're my favorite. You're used to people coming to you and go, oh my God, I can't believe it's you. You're getting used to that. I don't know how, but I literally had one experience with it from two experiences with it from a large standpoint that freaked me out. And I was happy that the next day I was somewhere nobody knew who the fuck I was. That's right. Right. So I don't know how you get used to that, but granted, you've been doing it for 20 goddamn years. You've been him, she been her for all this time. It's possible you got used to the shit, right?
Facts.
But maybe you should rethink that because that's a lot of. I feel like that's a lot of energy that y'all really don't need to. Man, fuck them.
Well, all right. I agree, but after I thought about it and the way that he said it, I think that some people, not in contradicting anything you said, but I think some people heard that and didn't understand what he was saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
My understanding of what he was saying is, how does it make sense that, prime example, all right, for the 63rd annual Grammy Awards, This was 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce had the most nominations. The argument that I feel like he's making,
What up, DJ?
What up, cuz? And I feel like, I just like after I talked to you yesterday, cuz I got confirmation of what you asked me about. So we gonna do this for a couple of them because this is my theory, and I'm about to try to test it out. So 2021 Grammys, she had 9 nominations. She won 4 of them. She was nominated for what's that? Best. Wait, it doesn't say what this was. This oh no, this is the wrong thing. Okay, hold up. Here we go. Record of the year. She won. Actually, she was nominated twice for Record of the Year.
Did she win both times?
No. This is the same year. Like she was up against herself.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
She had 2 songs. She had 2 songs that were nominated for Record of the Year. She won with one of them. She was nominated for Album of the Year. She did not, of course, that's Jay-Z's point. She didn't win that. She was nominated for Best R&B Performance. She won that. She was nominated for Best R&B Song. She won that. She was nominated for Best Rap Performance. I don't know who won that one. I have no idea who won that category.
Okay.
She was nominated for Best Rap Song. It's not showing who won that one either. But she only won 4 awards, so it's safe to say she didn't win all of those. She was nominated for Best Music Video. She was nominated for Best Music Film. It stands to reason that if you are nominated for all of these categories that encompass what an album is, and you win 4 of them, how is it that you didn't win Album of the Year? Mind you, that is a year that Taylor Swift won Album of the Year.
Right.
Let me see what she was nominated for this particular year. She was nominated for Album of the Year, obviously. She won that. She was nominated for Best Pop Solo Performance, Best Pop Duo Performance, Best Traditional Pop Album, and Best Song Written for Visual Media. And I don't know how many of those she won. But it's like, if I'm nominated for damn near every category that has anything to do with an album, but I don't win album, what that seems a little sketchy.
Yeah, it's more than sketchy.
Listen,
again, if his wife feel away about it, he gonna get up there and say something, and she should. Because like I told you, if my wife come to me and say she ain't like some shit, then I don't like it. Fuck
yeah.
At least publicly, I don't like it.
That was the 63rd annual. This is the 59th. She was nominated 9 times again. Adele won Album of the Year. In Adele's acceptance speech, she said Beyonce should have won that album, that award.
Right.
Like, that's the 59th. What's the 57th? Beyonce, most nomination. Who won Album of the Year that year? Album of the Year that year was I can't find it, but we know it wasn't Beyonce, and so I think that's the point that he's making. Like, how is it possible that she has won the most Grammys in history. Because in order to do that, you have to win several on a couple nights.
Right.
How is it possible that with that, she has never won Album of the Year? I get the argument.
No, his argument is sound.
We shouldn't care.
Sound. But
I get the argument.
Yeah, his argument makes sense. And like I said, he up there defending his wife. What the fuck? I'm not going to criticize him for doing that shit. I'm just saying that within a paradigm, right?
Oh no, the paradigm needs to shift.
Yeah, because
we need to not put some, and that's the thing. Like I said, it never crossed my mind before I read it like 2 days ago. If you keep talking about how much they don't mean anything, then stop fucking submitting your work for it.
That's it.
It doesn't make sense to do both.
Especially if you're already getting that validation from the people that matter.
Bruh.
And that is your fan base that constantly supports you through thick times and thin times. Like, they are the ones that validate the value of your shit. Any other external source other than you.
Right.
You're the first person that has to be, you validate. Now, this is good. Fuck you. This is good. Then after that, when you the next people after that matter, that's the people that's going to spend money on it, stream it, share it, talk about it, sing it, all that shit. That's the next
all that shit.
Once you start getting outside that first two layers, it gets more and more diluted for whether or not that should matter to you. It gets more and more diluted. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. This next topic. We're talking about Monique again.
I'm not gonna go over the kill him.
No, because I hate people. I hate people so much. People.
I know.
You know what's funny? I forgot to send you because when you said that, when you told me what happened with Aiden Russ and Kai Center, I meant to show you. I don't know this nigga name. He ain't even that big. Actually, I ain't gonna say nigga because I think he's white. The first thing I saw about it was somebody ran. I don't know who the fuck the other person was. Stitched his video because his video was like, "How the hell does Killer Mike win best? Who the fuck is? I've never even heard of this guy." And it's like, you're TikTok. You're not a streamer. Well, I don't know if he is a streamer or not, but you're TikTok. You are a TikTok content creator, and your content that you create on is hip hop.
But you didn't.
You can't say that out loud. That's that. Yeah, bro. Like, you can't say that out loud. As many issues as I have with Killer Mike.
Exactly.
We're not gonna be disingenuous.
No, to give this man his musical flowers.
Right.
His first album. I remember when his first album dropped. I remember sitting in my room listening to Morgan radio station. And they played Killer Mike's first album. I was like, what the fuck? So we ain't doing that.
No, listen.
We're not doing that. We're not doing
one of the craziest things I saw, right? And this is how people do. And I don't really get it. I was about to say I get it.
They do. You don't get why they do it. I get that y'all. I just don't know.
So somebody, where is it? Because so somebody made a post. And again, fuck Killer Mike, right? But someone said, y'all don't like Killer Mike and his political stance, but like rappers who talk about murdering people and glorifying dope dealing. Someone responded to that and said, a quote from one of Killer Mike's songs, "She called me R. Kelly and I called her 13. Now, under those comments, somebody, and I can't even fight that because he said that shit, right? Under those comments, somebody put a screenshot of Killer Mike's verse from the song that he got with Big Boy, Adidas. And for those who don't know, Adidas stands for All Day I Dream About Sex. So the lyric, what the screenshot says, When I drill, I don't spill, even if she's on the pill. Keep my weapon covered, concealed, and in a shield, because I don't need that AIDS, a D, and an A missing out my Adidas. Plus, we don't need no DNA mixing between us. We just need to keep this thing friendly and hush-hush on the down low like R. Kelly and youngsters. Now, that's where the screenshot ends.
Right.
The next line in that song is, but over 18 only, because baby, I'm no perv. That person cut that out.
I see this happening.
And put the screenshot under this. Yep. And I said to them, the original post was enough. You didn't have to manipulate the screenshot. The other lyric was enough to prove that he be on some bullshit.
This is a common,
of course they never responded to me.
Of course they did, bro. This is a common occurrence across the internet, and it's annoyed me this week, specifically because I wound up doing some stuff that I said I didn't do anymore, but it was so egregious that I had to. The comic book group, they're posting feats out of context from screenshot. And I'm sitting here going, yo, y'all really doing this?
Bruh.
Either you didn't know or read this entire story yourself, but you're trying to come off like you're knowledgeable about the comic books, and you found the screenshot online somewhere and say, hi, this backs up my point. Or you're being purposely disingenuous and misrepresenting what happened in this particular thing. And that's worrying because this is just
this is just comic book.
So if you do that with this, what else?
That's hilarious, Mike. And that's here's the thing, right?
That is hilarious.
You when you have a point, this is what's more egregious to me, right? When you have a point, you actually have a point.
Yeah.
Why are you adding lies? You already have a point.
You're killing your point.
You're hurting your credibility when you lie like this.
That's it. You're killing your own credibility when you had to do that, because anybody that wants to be in denial about the truth that you said is going to use the misrepresentation you just did to discredit everything else you said, which then discredits the point you made that was valid. You idiot. And at the end of the day, points are only valid if people are willing to accept the reality of it.
Exactly.
I've seen this firsthand myself. It should not be that way.
No, it shouldn't be.
That's what it is. People will let a lie rock.
Yeah. 100%.
Even though it's a lie.
Yeah.
Even though it's demonstrably false, by simply undervaluing the value of truth. Undervaluing the value of fact.
I know that some of it is that we think about things more intently than other people, right?
Yeah,
because
part of it.
In my head, using this Killer Mike example, the narrative is that people don't know who Killer Mike is.
Right.
So when you go into a post that is disparaging him for some shit that he did, and you add in something that doesn't fit the criteria of what we're talking about, but try to use that as evidence, what is the prevailing opinion? People don't know who Killer Mike is. So they're not going to know that fucking verse to know that. And here's the worst part about it. It's one thing, like in the comic book example, it's one thing to just be stupid. You ain't know. You saw this. You came across it, and you like, all right, here. This is my proof. They don't actually prove nothing.
Right.
No, this person had all of the context because on the screen, the very next line, they cut the fucking screenshot so that the next line doesn't show.
It's incorrigible. It's frustrating.
Like I even, you know how like when people post pictures and the pictures be too big for the platform, so you have to click on the picture to see the whole. I even did that a couple times because I'm like, there's no way that this person left out the rest of this line.
Yes, they did.
And I clicked on it and it looked the same. I'm like, oh,
you know, here's the other thing we could talk about too as far as personal responsibility from
bro.
I've wrote a lot of bars.
Mm-hmm.
I've said a lot of things in music before I had an audience,
mm-hmm.
which are toxic as fuck. and after I had an audience.
Mm-hmm.
You are responsible for the shit you write. So at the moment when he was sitting there writing that shit,
Mm-hmm.
he thought that was somehow acceptable.
Right.
I had 13.
Right. No.
You thought that was acceptable. You got to answer for that.
What
Even
is
if
the
you
thing?
say, man,
I think he's grifting because the reason only because they happen to be these lyrics happen to be put next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think he thinks that's his way of answering for that by putting the reference to R. Kelly and then saying but only 18 over because baby I'm no perv. Right. I think he might think that is his answer for that original line that he's made earlier.
I think he might be wrong. Because
yes.
And easy for people to miss that line, never have heard that song.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But whatever the case is, you wrote that. So
you wrote it.
But the people going out of their way to purposely omit context.
Right.
I'm looking at y'all like how important is this to you to be right on the subject that you would then do something that aristocrat. What have I said on this show numerous times? I value my credibility over my opinion.
Yep. Bro, you could have simply said this one out. You could have just liked the post.
Yeah.
Like, yo, the egregiousness.
Yo, it takes a split second to fuck your credibility up. It takes a
split
second.
The context was right there. And you deleted it. So this means you are purposely.
That's willful. That's willful. That's willful. It's one thing, like you said earlier, motherfucker in the comic group going fine. He ain't never read the shit. He just see that screenshot that's shared on Google Images. So this is the entire screenshot that he got. And he just takes that and puts it on there, right? But you saw the other parts of that rhyme, and you said
it's not like it was in a different verse,
right?
And you just didn't scroll down far enough. Right. No, nigga, it was the very next line. What are we talking about?
You did that on purpose, and we did
it on purpose. We see you. All right.
Y'all bugging. Y'all bugging.
So this Monique thing. I haven't watched the whole thing.
Me either.
Seen a bunch of clips. And before we get into it, I want to address that very thing. There's an argument going around per the difference in reaction to Monique and Cat Williams. I definitely notice a difference.
Yeah, it is.
Of course, people are saying that the only reason is because Mo is a black woman. To get it out of the way, I'm going to explain my personal reasons as to why I initially reacted to Cat's different than Monique's. I've never been a huge fan of Monique.
Same.
Mainly because I find it extremely hypocritical that she can say whatever she wants about whomever she wants. But 8 times out of 10 that she's in the news, it's for talking about someone or complaining about people talking about her. I do not buy the idea that because you're a comedian, you can say things in your work that you shouldn't be held accountable for. See my thoughts on Dave Chappelle.
Right.
This doesn't mean that she isn't justified. This doesn't mean that she isn't justified in some of the things that she says, because she absolutely is. I'm open to any complaint she has about anybody, except the complaint that simply they were talking shit about her. I can't accept that. I was open to her argument with Netflix. I didn't agree with her, but I definitely entertained it and gave thought to it. And for those that don't remember, her argument was Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Amy Schumer, they're making more. They're being offered more by Netflix than I am. It was substantially more. I think Rock got 20 mil, Chappelle got 40 mil. I don't know how much Amy got because I don't care about her in any way, shape, or form. But I think Mo was offered like $500,000. And I believe this is what I said, but this is what I feel. Monique is not at the same level of Chappelle and Chris Rock. Now we can argue as to why that is, and a part of that, absolutely, I'm willing to accept, has to do with the fact that she's a Black woman, 1000%. But at the end of the day, facts are facts, and she simply was not at their level. Now I can't say that Dave was 80 times as profitable as Monique was. I would never say no shit like that. So that part I didn't necessarily I agree with her on that part. But the fact that, like, if I remember correctly, her argument was she should be making as much. No, I don't think so. If any of you guys remember, we watched her Netflix special that came out after that issue was resolved. We watched it for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't great.
Well, here's the thing about that. I'm glad you said that. My thoughts about Monique and my reaction to the stuff that she does is different because, like you said, you're not a fan. I'm not a fan. More importantly, I'm not a fan of her work.
Right.
I've never found Monique to be funny. Ever.
Right.
It's that style she used.
Yeah.
The angry, heavy
Black
woman.
The skinny bitches are evil.
Evil.
Yeah.
I never thought that was fun. I never thought it was funny. Right.
Man.
So don't get me wrong.
I liked her work on the Parkers.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah.
There are things she did on the Parkers that I thought was funny. Like the shit like, oh no. Because I like certain subtle shit that I like, the subtleties of how she would deliver certain lines.
Absolutely.
Or her reactions to certain things that's being said that I thought was absolutely hilarious.
I think that she's a better comedic actor than she is
a comedian.
I
completely agree. That said, though, like you said, fair is fair. If I thought for 1 second that she was on the same level as them, I would have had a different argument. But
right. I don't.
And
I
really
simply
don't think Amy Schumer is on that level either. But all right, it's whatever.
Well, no. Amy didn't get what they were getting.
Right.
Amy just got more than Mo.
Right. So again, I didn't agree with her Netflix stance, but I agree with the overall point that Black women are undervalued.
Yes, absolutely.
She's not funny.
She wasn't the best representative.
No, and then as you just mentioned, when she finally got that Netflix special up, that shit wasn't funny.
It was underwhelming. It was underwhelming. And to be fair to her,
she made excuses for that too. By the way,
that's what I was about to say. To be fair to her, it didn't seem like she was trying to make it funny.
Right. That's the
problem. I've seen Monique try to be funny, and
Mm-hmm.
I might laugh a couple times, or I might not laugh.
It.
This wasn't her trying to be, in my opinion.
And this
wasn't her trying to be funny.
All you gotta do is go watch it. No, anybody has to go try to see it and tell me if she's telling jokes.
Right.
Just tell me if she's telling jokes. She's not.
Right.
She's ranting for that time that she's up there. And what I'm saying to you is that's not the time to do that because all that attention from that controversy was on you.
Yeah.
That was the time to go.
Time. Yo, that was the time to go scorched earth.
Yes.
On all the people that you were beefing with at the time through comedy.
Have us laughing at them.
Yes.
Have us laughing with you.
And she did not take that opportunity.
Have us walking away with certain quotes you said, now we say. That was the time to show your ass because now the world is looking at you. Your naysayers, your supporters, the people that's in the middle who don't give a fuck either way, but because it's a story that's out there, it's floating around, they're gonna pay attention to it. Absolutely. This was the time to go out there and give them Delirious, give them Raw, give them. This was the time to do the iconic, the best.
This was supposed to be your magnum opus.
Yes, because I'm gonna tell you
didn't deliver that.
I'm gonna tell you what happens from that.
Oh,
if she'd have came out
skyrocket
and killed.
Oh,
number one, it would have the fans wouldn't have wanted to hear shit nobody had to say about her.
Nope.
Not from Charlemagne the God.
Nope.
Not from any other detractors.
He apologized, by the way.
Yes, he did. And I didn't watch the apology, but I did see the thumbnail in my thing.
Yeah.
But that nothing nobody could have said about her
would have mattered.
Would have mattered if she'd have got up there and killed. She'd have literally turned all of them into liars, even if they weren't lying about their specific the specific incidents. She'd
Right.
have turned them into liars by saying,
Oh,
this is
easy.
why my money's supposed to be right, because you
Mhm.
saw what I did. I just went up
Mhm.
there. I got motherfuckers jumping off of the fucking balconies, laughing at the shit
Facts.
that I'm saying. I got motherfuckers leaving this motherfucker, buying my
Mhm.
t-shirt. They all got my
Mhm.
fucking face on it and a quote from one of my stand-up. You can't talk to me.
Facts.
Instead,
facts.
she went up there and ran it. And
Yep.
I invite any of you who have not seen that Netflix special to go and watch it and point out to me the setup and the punchline of anything she said.
Right.
And that was a
Like,
mistake.
she literally made like what, maybe 4 jokes?
Maybe. And that's
the
the
entire time.
That what that shows, if you're intuitive, is that she was emotionally compromised and angry.
Absolutely.
So that maybe she couldn't focus on writing some good material. And all she wanted to do was be on some get back. But I would argue she already got the get back before,
Nigga.
when she went on them shows and said her opinion about what these motherfuckers did to her. Right? And a lot of shit she said was not wrong.
Right. Absolutely.
Not wrong.
She had receipts for some of that shit.
She had receipts for some of this shit. Right? Now, yeah, you can always color it with.
I'm sure some of it was perspective.
Yeah,
right.
But a lot of that shit
a lot of that shit was cold hard facts.
Cold facts. And go in, for those that need further clarification on that, go and look at her interview with goofy ass Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
And see some of the shit he's
that argument, that back and forth. I'm like, yo, listen, I have long disliked Steve Harvey.
Me too.
But that shit put me, I don't like it was like this might sound funny, but before that point, I would happily watch Family Feud. After that point, I have not seen an episode. Not a single episode. I don't want to see him on my TV anymore.
Yo, this goofy a toupee wearing song, but like the way he came at her, some of the arguments he was making, that shit sounds like, it honestly sounds like they in the slave quarters.
Nigga.
It's 1812. And he telling her all the reasons why they shouldn't run. Or why the other person got more food. You got to understand. Bro, that shit rubbed me the wrong way, yo. It did. But I think it was good for Mo. It was good for her perception to have this.
Oh, absolutely.
Because whatever doubts or skepticism I had about certain things that Mo said, when she did that interview and I heard this nigga talk, I was like, oh, no, she right.
Yeah. Whatever she said about him, he did that shit.
Yeah, he did that shit. 100%.
Don't even matter what the fuck she said.
Yeah.
If she would have said he walked up to her, smacked her on the back of her head, stomped her out, and then pissed on her, he did that shit.
He did that shit.
He did that shit. Fuck
that shit crazy.
So another issue that I've had with Monique is those damn respectability politics.
I know.
We had that as a topic on a different episode.
Did.
The reason I didn't watch this interview is, first of all, they're long as fuck. But
yeah, Shay, I ain't telling you to, look.
We be busy. Like, listen, we can't tell you what to do.
No, what I'm saying is
our podcast is 3 hours.
Listen, I'm talking 3 hours, yeah, but I'm what I was referring to was the results. And you get 3
facts. Yeah, keep doing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Right, but for me,
absolutely.
Them shits be too
long.
I'll
be simply because, like, I don't know. Anyway, so
I didn't even watch the entire Cat Williams thing.
I watched most of it. I didn't watch the entire
the relevant stuff up to a certain point, and then maybe the last hour. I'm like, look.
Well, all right. So the reason I didn't watch Mo's is because I felt like I knew the things she was going to complain about.
That's the thing too,
because it's the things she's been complaining about.
Yeah, she hasn't stopped complaining about.
Cat is a different story. First of all, I enjoy Cat's work more than I enjoy Mo's work.
Yeah.
Also, Cat doesn't cry about people talking shit about him.
Nope. He just talks.
Cat is either going to ignore you or he going to retaliate.
Yeah, that's true.
I also didn't know the things that he was going to talk about in his interview, so I watched it. In hindsight, though, I ain't gonna hold you. I probably would have switched. I probably would have watched Mose and not watched Cats in hindsight.
Right.
Because I think I liked Mose more.
Mhm.
But let's get into some of the things she said. 5 things that Monique said on Club Shay Shay that left us shook is the title.
Shocked.
And you know what's funny? We just talked about the sensationalism
These
in
titles.
I don't know if this was the sensational.
Facts.
But Monique is the latest guest to appear on Club Shay Shay, and y'all know she left no stone unturned ever since the latest episode of the podcast, hosted by Shannon Sharp, dropped Tuesday. It has trended on Twitter, taken over text chats, and served as a classic water cooler conversation. During the nearly 3-hour episode.
How many? I just need to ask at your job.
I have there's a water cooler on every single floor.
Got you. That was still a thing.
Yeah, no, it's still a thing. It's still a thing. Especially now in the age of people having these cups. That
Do y'all be having conversations at the water cooler?
Oh no, that doesn't happen. No, that's not a thing. Well, another thing is like at one of my old locations that I worked with before I started working in the main office, the water cooler is right by the time clock. So that would happen then. But again, that was still also 15 years ago. So I don't know if they do that no more. But anyway, here are the 5 biggest bombshells from the sit down. Number 1, she addressed Tiffany Haddish for comments she made about her and her husband, Sidney Hicks, during an interview with GQ in 2018. Quote, "It is this, in my humble opinion, is where we keep throwing each other under the bus," Monique says. And she said, "Well, I don't do business like Monique do business, and I'm glad I don't have that husband of hers." After that, Monique took a breath and unleashed the clip on Tiffany Haddish. Quote, "Tiffany, if you had a husband like mine, you may not have 2 DUIs. Monique continued, "If you had a husband like mine, you may not be caught up in what looks like you could have been grooming a child."
Ooh, that had to hurt. Hold up, because it gets worse. Because somebody did a clip on their video about that, and at the time when she said that part about the 2 DUIs, they showed
the mugshot
pictures.
Oh man! Oh man! Bruh.
Now somebody might make a perfectly legitimate argument about there's a bit of this ingrained misogynist about your husband with his stuff. That's perfectly fine. However, that is a quality clapback. That is a quality clapback.
Here's the thing: as misogynist, listen, yo. I don't know if I've ever said this on here, and I don't know if I want to, but I will. Unfortunately, there are elements that exist in these power structures that we are trying to get rid of that might be necessary to fight them.
Yeah, well,
and
we could have it. I know what you're talking about, and I feel like we can get those elements a different way.
Oh no, absolutely. Wait, no. Yeah. You can, because here's the thing. I don't like I've talked about this with the whole generation thing. I don't like the whole all or nothing as far as ideologies are concerned. I can feel a way about a specific topic. Like it's fine. Like when I say to you, and I've said this on here several episodes, when I say to you, I can't protect you if you don't listen to me.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
If you want to call that misogynistic, go ahead.
No, because that anybody can make that statement.
Right.
Anybody can make that statement. Now, like I said, I'm accounting for people that might see that and interpret that a certain type of way. But what I will tell you is that's a quality clapback. Like whatever you have to say about it, because the reality is when you are when somebody else feels like you are obligated to them, they are obligated to you. There are certain things that you think twice before doing.
Yep.
And that's what it like. I could tell y'all this for there are people whose faces have remained unpunched thanks to thanks to Sharon Taylor, thanks to Malik Deal. There are people who have literally not had the experience of cleaning the shit off their leg because these people exist, and me doing that would not just hurt that other person themselves, but it would hurt them, my absence, right? There are many motherfuckers who should be giving them birthday cards and all that shit, because the reason I did not do to you what I would have done to you had they not existed would have been crazy. So that to me is how I interpreted what she said.
Yeah, real shit.
You don't have nobody, ma'am.
Right.
You sitting here talking shit about me. You don't have nobody.
But she goes on.
She
says, I say all of that with no judgment, but when you speak about having a husband like mine, you open up the door.
Right.
I'm saying if you had one like mine, you may not sit in these positions that you can't explain the next day.
Oh, she can
Bruh!
It's just the explanation will help. It can be explained.
No, so
explanation don't help.
All right, so that was number one. Number two, she accused Oprah Winfrey of overstepping her boundaries. Now, this one, nigga, Monique's long-standing feud with the media mogul dates back to her appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 2010. During that taping, Monique felt blindsided when family members she did not approve to be on the show appeared in an episode who downplayed the abuse she suffered by her brother. Quote, I tried to be respectful. I tried to call you first. When she had my family on her show, I tried to call you first. I tried to talk to you privately, but then you became the great, mighty Oprah Winfrey, and you were too busy to talk. Well, now I'm going to talk about it. This woman has overstepped with me so many ways. I don't know why this article leaves out the details. So basically, what happened is Oprah called Monique. She said, hey, for those that don't know, Monique's brother molested her. And Oprah called Monique and said, hey, your brother wants to come on my show. He wants to apologize to you publicly. And he wants to talk about the steps that, you know, people might make to turn their lives around and blah, 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 blah. Monique said, listen, I don't want nothing to do with him.
Which is within the law with her, right?
Absolutely. She said, I don't want nothing to do with him, but go ahead and do the show, because if what he's saying can reach some people and get them to do better in their lives, that's not something I want to block. Come showtime, turns out the rest of Monique's family was on there, which Oprah never mentioned. And Monique's mother, they were basically downplaying what happened to Monique and defending the brother and all this other shit. And it's like, yeah, I would have a fucking problem with you after some shit like that. Like, first of all, because she said she stopped before she mentioned the rest of her family. She said, Oprah didn't have to do that.
She really did.
She didn't have to do that. She came to me and told me about my brother. And at the time, I'm like, that's some real shit. Like, this is my sister. Blah, 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 blah. For you then to go ahead and have the whole family on there, that's some grimy shit. Like,
yo, it is beyond grimy. And basically, I don't want to hear talk of Oprah's handlers, Oprah's producers.
Oh, no, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that because somebody, no, that's not even, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Number three, she called out Kevin Hart for allegedly dropping out of their deal. Monique recounted the discussion she had with Kevin Hart, who agreed to work with her on new projects. Quote, I tell you what, let's move past that. Tyler Perry not wanting to revisit their past grievances. And Mo, let's move past that and let's do some great things together. I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know what you want to do. That's what Kevin Hart said to her.
And threw some money.
And well, the money was before this.
Okay.
The money was before this. So she had a deal with a company and was going to do a show and told the company, yeah, Kevin Hart's on board, blah, blah, blah. He said whatever we wanted to do, he wanted to be a part of it, blah, 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 blah. She then talks back to the company, and the company says, we just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky. And Dave Becky says Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. After that, she called Kevin back. She said she told him what happened. He said, that is a miscommunication. That's not what happened. We'll talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it. That was 2 years ago. They have never spoken since.
He goes to
Number 4. She maintains that Oprah and Tyler Perry continued to try to blackball her. Monique claims that prior to not wanting to do international press opportunities for Precious, she had never been labeled difficult. She said, quote, I never complained about the $50,000. I did everything I was supposed to do. It is when they started asking me to become a slave. It is when Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey started asking me to work for free. It is when they started doing the bidding for whomever the gatekeeper was at the time. And apparently what happened is she was only supposed to be in a scene or two. And then she ended up being in more scenes and ended up writing most of her dialogue.
There should be money that goes along with it.
Yes. And then on top of all that, they wanted her to do press junkets, and she was not compensated for that. So she did not do them. Number 5, she says Al Sharpton acted shady towards her during the onset of her beef with Oprah and Tyler Perry. She said after she sent the audio of a private conversation between her and Tyler Perry, and to be clear, everybody, the state that they were in was not a 2-party consent state. So that means that you can record a phone conversation. You can record audio of somebody without their knowledge if it's not a 2-party consent state. Between, she said, what that man did to you, he said to her, what that man did to you was wrong, and you're like my daughter, and we're gonna have to get him.
You know, I love to see these. Kevin Hart says she's like his mom.
Bruh.
And Al Sharpton says like my daughter.
Bruh.
Like, yo, y'all
you're like my daughter, and we're going to have to get him to fix that. After that, he disappeared. She said, we didn't hear from Al Sharpton for 6 months. The next time we saw Al Sharpton, he was on the podium talking about, quote, we don't need to fly commercial because we can fly Tyler Perry's private jet.
Listen, bro.
Yo.
What I'm going to say about this is years ago, probably around 2008, 2007, I wrote a song called Reverend Al. And I wore his ass loose because around this time, the radio disc jockey, shock jock, Imus, said some horse shit about black.
The neck-headed host thing?
Yes. So he gets excoriated like he should. And all of the press was on him. As it should have been. What you saying that shit for? And then he went on his show and tried to throw hip-hop under the bus. And because there is this adversarial relationship that my community has with this country as a whole, anything that we produce, before it becomes accepted by the masses, there's an adversarial relationship to that too. People jumped off of criticizing him and started criticizing hip-hop, and Reverend Al, who should know better and should know all these rhetorical schemes and plots that people do to deflect and get the heat off them, he bought right into it. I start seeing his monkey ass go on all of these different talk shows, running down hip-hop, talking shit about hip-hop, and I wore his ass out. And I remember at the time, when I released the song, his defenders came all over some of the posts. It wasn't all of them because a lot of people agree with what I'm saying. But there was people that came on there was talking shit. Man, he's this, he do this, he be doing that. My course clearly said, nobody trusts you, Reverend Al. Somebody need to snuff you, Reverend Al. Like, I was talking shit. I was talking shit. It's funny to me to see now. People start to see.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I get why a lot of people from my community didn't want to see him in that light, because when you have the masses always got something negative to say about you, about your lifestyle, about who you are as a people, the misrepresentations of who you are as a group, and they become to the point where it's ingrained in the narrative of the place you live. All it takes is for somebody to be a professed defender of the group for motherfuckers to throw them their loyalty without them looking deeper into the person to see, is this somebody we really should be getting behind?
Right.
So I understand why my people got jammed up with that. But all you have to do is, yes, does Reverend Al Sharpton do good works now? Yes, he does. There's things he has done now that I 100% agree with him getting involved with it and using his megaphone and his presence to bring attention to shit. 100% not going to take that away from him. But that don't mean that at the core of this man, it's still that same fat huckster back then. 100%. 100%. So it's just funny for me to hear this he said that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So Michael Blackson.
He probably should have stayed out of this. But
made this long ass rant.
He should have stayed.
I mean, I don't think it was that long. The rant itself wasn't that long. But I'm gonna read it for you guys because this motherfucker, or should I say this mother sucker?
This mother sucker. All due respect, Mike, we have no respect.
I mean, there was no reason for you to get involved. You could have set this one out.
You
should have set this one out. I apologize. I said must. I mean, I said could have, should have. You should have shut the fuck up. All right, so where is okay? His first tweet was, I didn't listen to Monique's interview yet. Who all made her list? LOL. Because when Monique's face was revealed, everybody knew she was. Yeah, okay.
He was gonna say something.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something. His next tweet was, I love Monique. She's one of the most talented and hardest working women on the planet.
For the record,
met her back.
When a motherfucker starts off like that,
bruh,
some shit's about to happen.
I met her back in the day on the set of Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam. We taped the same show, but mine didn't air, but I'll explain why later. After my performance, Monique came to me and told me how funny I was and asked me to come headline her comedy club she had in Baltimore. I loved her for that. We later worked on HBO Snaps together and even did some HBO Snaps tours together. She's the best big sister you can have.
Here we go again. These familiar relationships.
Bruh.
Okay.
Hold up. Where's the next part? The next part. The next part. He even deleted it or whatever the case may be. But that went to hold up. Is this no, that's not it. Yeah, because the next it's not okay. It's not in order or
but no, he did say something else.
He said Shay mentioned the word gatekeeper and then she mentioned Kev. I don't think in this situation he was a gatekeeper because he tried to open the gate, but the gate was too tall. Ghost or not, the nigga tried. At some point, Kevin's manager got involved, but a manager's job is to keep his client out of the bullshit, and that's what Dave Becky did. Monique, you can't say Kev didn't try to help you. So, Mumbo, you had mentioned Oprah's producers and her handlers and all that other type of shit. And Michael Blackson talking about Kevin Hart's manager. Guess what? All of those people have in common.
What's that?
They work for the person we're talking about. They work for you.
So corny, yo.
You don't work for them. You don't have to listen to what if this is a personal matter. This is a personal
I'm overruling
matter.
your
I'm overruling you. It's very simple.
Why?
And then the
Oprah.
Bruh, because and then the onus is on you then if you want to continue to collect my check.
Right.
Because this is what I said is going to happen, and that's what's going to happen. Yeah. That simple. Just like people when we talked about the Maxwell thing. I mean, not Maxwell, fucking Maxwell's the good example of what happened. The Lenny Kravitz thing. Right. When we talk about the Lenny Kravitz thing, and people were like, well, his publicist. No, they work for him. If they lied to him, that's one thing because he didn't know. Okay. Right. This is not that type of situation.
Oh, it's not.
This was your doing. You had choice in this matter. You knew what was going on with Monique.
Right.
The manager didn't come to you and present that information and it was news to you. You knew what was going on with Monique. And you still offered to do this thing.
Yep.
And now the manager's like, well, no, I don't want to. Kev doesn't want anything to do.
Hiding behind just like, the manager.
What the fuck are we talking about? That's not how this works. They are your employees.
Yeah.
Treat them as such.
Look, there's a certain amount of administrative duties that these people have. They are definitely there to give you advice because according to their job description, sometimes you need that voice that's not personally connected to it. But that does not mean that you hire them for them to be your boss. Right. That's not how that works. When something is personal to the core of you, something that you feel like, no, I need to do this, you could simply just tell them, if you want to keep collecting checks here,
right,
this is what's about to happen.
You want to back off on this one particular situation.
The hiding behind
vast majority of the time I listen to you. This one time I'm calling the audible.
Yeah. I'm
calling the audible.
Well, regardless of what happens, and I'm not going to blame you, if this blows up in my face, but I have to do this. And so it's disingenuous to be hiding behind them when it's convenient, when you're about to do some fuck shit. When you're about to do I'm about to abandon this, I'm about to leave this motherfucker by the side of the road. You made that decision. That wasn't the manager, that wasn't the producer.
To be clear, I was going to say fair, but I don't even know if it's fair or not, because I think it might actually make him look worse, what I'm about to say. Mm-hmm. To be clear, Kev didn't say his manager. He didn't blame his manager.
He didn't.
But also to be fair, he didn't give a reason at all. He just ghosted her.
He said
that's
that was
some bullshit. We gonna talk Tuesday.
We gonna talk Tuesday.
And Tuesday never came.
You know what the problem with Tuesday was? He made Tuesday 30-40. That's what Tuesday, November 30-40. That's what he was talking about. So technically, the conversation's still coming.
Conversation's still coming. All right, so this interview has also sparked a super annoying debate about the DMV. So, Shannon said in one of the clips that she was from the DMV, and Mo did not correct him.
I don't think she did.
So because she didn't correct him, you got a bunch of people on Twitter, even people with sizable followings, getting outside of them fucking selves. I had to point out this one in particular. This one motherfucker in particular. Chris Evans on Twitter, not Captain America. He is one of those people from his tweets, because I don't see him anywhere else. I don't know if he does content outside of Twitter. But through his tweets, he's one of those people that I kind of relate to Van, where he is a necessary he's necessary in the space. All of his stances are strong, and you know exactly what he means. There's no room for ambiguity. I think some of them are a bit off, but overall, I get and understand his stance on things. Right. This nigga, and again, he used a picture of Whoopi, but this nigga said, "Are y'all dumb? What exactly do you think the M stands for in DMV?" Sir, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And now you out here loud and wrong. So, for those who actually care and are not privy, well, first of all, before I explain it, what you guys are doing, especially the ones that be up on Twitter talking about pro-black and all this other type of stuff.
I know.
What you're doing in this situation is you're telling people of a culture about their culture instead of listening to them about their culture. Does that sound familiar?
It does. Yes, it does.
You so pro-black, but you can't understand how that. Okay. So for those that would like to know, DMV, absolutely, the acronym is for DC, Maryland, Virginia. However, the DMV area is generally described as the places that the metro touches. It
Right.
is the DC, it's the greater DC metropolitan area, and its close surroundings. Close being the operative term. For other people that don't know, there are several tri-state areas that are not what they simply appear to be on the surface.
Right.
The tri-state itself, the tri-state area, the one that's called the tri-state area, is one of those, because Philly is considered a part of the tri-state area, but I think like Pittsburgh is not.
Right.
So like there's also Delmarva,
Yep.
which is Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. But guess what? The DMV is not a part of Delmarva.
No.
I know it shares two of the states, but for those that don't know this, speaking genuinely to people who are not from the United States and sarcastically to people who are,
Right.
states are big. Like, as small as the smaller states are, they are larger than most countries.
Yeah.
So let's just understand that, like, there's a whole thing. Like, Baltimore is like 40 minutes to an hour away from DC.
Yeah.
Culturally, the two areas could not be much different.
Man. Yeah.
So
you are not the same.
It is like, don't get me wrong. There are some people that go to the extremes and say tongue in cheek, but I know some of them aren't being tongue in cheek.
No,
but they'll say stuff like Baltimore is not a part of Maryland, and most of them will be tongue in cheek, but some of them are not. They're just being stupid. So it makes it worse whenever the DMV conversation comes up.
Yep.
Because what does the M for Maryland stand? What? No. Yes, absolutely. The M stands for Maryland, but that doesn't mean, by that logic, right? What largely surrounds DC? Maryland. By that logic, DC is a part of Maryland.
Yep.
But it's not.
It's not. It's the district.
It's simply not. So, like, what do we?
I think what's happened here is it feels like a slight. And what y'all have to know about Baltimore is that Baltimore catches rhetorical help, from the surrounding areas in this region. Things that we didn't know about because Baltimore was pretty self-contained.
Yes.
Right? So, just as an example, my personal experience with that is my entire life growing up in Baltimore, up until a certain time, I was a grown-ass man with a kid. I had never heard that there was any animosity from DC towards Baltimore. I never heard. I knew people who came over here, like neighbors who had grandkids that lived in DC that would come over. I always looked at them like, hey, just from DC. That's it. It was never none of that. I didn't find out about that until I started dating someone from the surrounding counties closer to Capitol Heights, DC, and met their friends. Then I started to hear it. Then, of course, me being a rapper, I was a local at that time, MC. I didn't have much to do with the DC artists. Then when I start interacting with the DC artists, I started to see confirmation of what the women I was dating and their friends were saying. I was like, and I used to always tell them, I said, so you do realize y'all look crazy. He said, you look crazy. You look crazy because we don't talk about you and we don't care about you. So you over there hating from a distance. Saying all kinds of crazy stuff about us, and we don't know and we don't care. And we still didn't care up until there were moves made in the local music scene that tried to shut Baltimore artists out based off of those negative feelings that these people have harbored apparently about Baltimore for the longest time.
Yeah.
So in that and a few other things, it causes some of the people here, not all, because some of us still don't care.
No.
Right? People still don't care, but it causes some of them to feel slighted. Oh, this is just another attack, and it's really not. And the other thing is, you should not care.
No,
you should not really care about this.
No,
fuck the DMV.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. I'm not from there.
Yo, so and that's the thing, like you said, growing up not knowing. I grew up not knowing. I didn't find out until I went to fucking College Park.
You feel me?
When I went to College Park is when I started hearing all that stuff, and I'm like, oh, really?
We don't think about y'all at all.
Yeah, like, why is this a thing?
I went my whole life never hearing anybody disparage DC simply because it was DC or dudes from DC. Simply, I went my whole life, and yet apparently part of the culture there, part of their understanding of the relationship between DC and Baltimore is that they talk shit about Baltimore. That's part of it. And it's like, I laugh. But part of it, I think, is fear. And the reason I say that is because my experience coming from Baltimore, dealing with people that's not, especially the surrounding areas, maybe not DC, but some of the surrounding areas, they have this perception of Baltimore dudes that probably rivals old boomer white men's perception of black dudes. Like, there's a fear. And I'm gonna tell you right now, especially coming from my generation, super toxic ass black Baltimore men, the moment we smell that fear, your bitch ass is about to get treated.
It retroactively becomes true.
Your bitch ass. Oh, you afraid? So you ain't really, because I'm telling you now, Baltimore is fairly bad.
Nigga.
It was bad when I was young.
Right.
You understand? And I'm trying to tell you, that mentality there, the moment we smell it, so you ain't one of them. In other words, you ain't one of us because you scared. You scared now. Because I respect people from different places, have different hoods and all that. I've known people, even before grading, I had a homeboy that came from Compton, right? I respect that. But you not from here, and you want some you want some scared shit? Is that why y'all talking shit?
Right.
Are you scared? What's going on? Are you scared? I got you. We are a little wild over here. I understand. I would. It's like that scene in the first Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film. He's like, "I don't want to fight you, Flash. I wouldn't want to fight me either." Yeah. Bitch ass. Bro, I have seen it, bro. I've seen it with my own eyes and looked at that shit like, I'm coming with the peace hand. Yeah, that's my girl's folks.
Right.
Come and niggas. I ain't even coming with that energy and you. Oh, just because I'm from Baltimore.
Literally.
That's crazy.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
There was some of that when I was in College Park. And then it's like, bruh,
I'm not even on that.
To be clear, I'm here to get an education. Yeah. Like, what are we talking about? Like, just an uneasiness.
Guess what else I heard about similar places? They get the same type of jersey. It's from Jersey. I don't surround them little right there. Looking at them, niggas from Jersey crazy.
Right.
The same thing about niggas from Detroit.
I'm sure.
You know what I'm saying? And
I'm sure.
I just be laughing like, yo, you know, there's tough guys and punks everywhere.
Literally.
No matter what city you talking about. Yes, some cities are a little rougher than others. You look at the crime stats. There's more bullshit going on over there. True. But that does not mean there ain't somebody over there that'll smack your eyebrows off if you run your face, even in.
Nigga, I'm from. Is the next word Asgard
or Wakanda? We can run it, my guy. We can run it. If it's not Asgard or Wakanda or Krypton, we can run it.
Right. But yeah, like it's just and to be clear, I wasn't seeing that online. It wasn't people from the DMV in Baltimore arguing. It was literally a combined front of people from DC, from the DMV and Baltimore, telling other people like, no, it's not the same place.
Yes.
Like Baltimore's not part of the DMV. Nobody, no, it's not. So
we need to finish that with, and we don't care.
Yeah, no, it's not that big a deal. It's literally not that big a deal. Like it's literally just another location.
That's it. That's all it is.
That's it. That's all. I mean, I don't like driving in DC.
Of course you. Yo, I was in DC because that's the hospital you got to went to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, talk about that a little bit on the thing, but
it's actually no, it's time now. So go ahead and get into it.
So my week. Well, let's get some of the stuff out of the way first. So as you can see, looking under my caption, under my name, the Reaper Legion store is officially open.
Yeah. Don DeMarco, Marco.
So
Marco.
It's been years since I had a merch store. I had one a long time ago, back when I got my third wind in this rap shit, and my audience got bigger. I started a little store, sold a few shirts. It was nothing extravagant. There wasn't like a lot of diversity in the designs. Just like the Reaper Legion original logo. Maybe then I had some with my name on one side of the shirt and a quote from a song on the other. But that was rough. That was basically it. I didn't really spend a whole lot of time on it. But now, of course, we all have access to much more elaborate designs, us creatives. Easier access to get those designs. So right now, I'm just starting with like a few things. Matter of fact, hold up. Let me do this real quick.
Sounds like you broke it.
No, I broke something because I was supposed to have this already up, but I wound up forgetting about it. Because that's my life.
I mean,
here we go. Should I do this? Yeah. So we believe the store up. That's our official flag. As you can see, I have just a few designs up in here. We got our official flag. You understand? Definitely glad to finally have that. Let's open up a few all of them. Got tank tops because, Cindy requested. Cindy requested tank tops. So we got some tank tops in here as well. Some other things. And, I'm glad I finally got a chance to get it up. I really like that design. Some stuff I want to do. Now, to be clear, this is just the starting stuff. There'll be a bit more coming as well. For instance, some of the stuff will have the aesthetic. There'll be several brands on it. But all of them will be inspired by my overall aesthetic that I've established over the years. So take the Entropic Empire. It's going to be an Entropic Empire brand that's already up there, but there's going to be some other styles of it that's based on the comic book Warrior Race and Extra Pain Entry. Then, of course, there'll be other Reaper Legion branded gear. A lot of the Entropic culture stuff will at some point be moved over to the other merch company that Majestic will be the parent company of, but that's going to be take a little minute for us to get all that set up. And then, of course, later this year, me and SBJ, maybe in a couple of months, me and SBJ are going to do our skatewear brand as well. But I'm just happy as hell to finally be getting this part of it moving because it's something that I kind of slept on. So that's the good thing. So as to personal stuff, So my mother-in-law went on vacation for the last 8 days. She was out. And as a result, but like I've told you guys before about some of these goofy ass cats in here. One of them in particular, the youngest one in here, this is the one that she wanted. Typically when she's here, there's a whole lot of stuff. He comes down here and he creates havoc. He does. Everywhere he goes, chaos follows. That's just what it is, B. It's just what it is, right? So a lot of times, once he gets a bit too out of pocket, I will take his ass upstairs and close the door. You stay your ass up there and chill out. You do whatever it is you do. There's water up there, food up there, place to go to the bathroom. Stay your ass up there. Late at night, if he's left up there, he gets mad. And he tries to disturb people. Now, my kid in her room has to deal with, I guess, the brunt of it, because he'll get behind her door and start caterwauling like, "Open the damn door! This is an outrage." Then my other kid has to hear it too. And then, of course, mother-in-law, whose room is right across from theirs, she has to hear it. So it's not always a good time when the cats are left. That cat is left upstairs on the day. But she was gone this week, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Because my daughter can sleep through anything, like literally. We literally heard her alarm on her phone going off, vibrating the ceiling, and she's still, yeah. So that apparently, the cat thing doesn't really bother her as much. But this week, he was extra. Here's something several times. From upstairs going boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. What the fuck? Go upstairs. Yeah, I don't see nothing. What was the result of this? It was the cat themselves jumping off of something high, and got a little weight to them, and you hear it sounds louder because we down here. Maybe that's what's going on. Well, turns out that's not what was going on. Turns out, no, there was a plant. One of my mother-in-law's plants that she's been doing her damnedest to grow. He knocked that son bitch over, dirt all over the goddamn place. He don't give a fuck. And here's the other annoying thing about him. When he does some shit, he scampers off. And it is the equivalent of a skip. You see that annoying kid who's saying crazy stuff or doing good little things, then he skip away. That's how that run looks. When I see him do that run, this little nigga did something. He did something. Don't stop there. Because I went and got the dirt up. I tried to replant the thing. I don't know if that's going to work. It's been a couple of days. The plant might perish unless my mother-in-law, who's home now, goes and does something. It might perish, right?
Right.
But again, like I said, that's not all. One of those ba-doom, ba-boom, ba-doom, boom, boom that we didn't see when he first came up, I saw the other day. So my daughter got a splinter in her foot. Trying to get the splinter out, sitting down on one of the couches in the living room. Get the splinter out. Well, not the couch, but the chair.
Right. I
look over in the corner, and what do I see? I see the picture of my wife's grandparents. Nice big old picture. On the ground, glass everywhere.
Ooh.
I wonder how that happened. You know who had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to be nosing around the area while we were trying to get the splinter out of Siobhan's foot? The culprit. Because like every great detective has said, every piece of fiction you have ever read, but I think it probably started with Sherlock Holmes. The criminal always comes back to the scene of the crime. And I was outraged because I thought to myself, this picture is an important picture. There's a lot of other pictures on that stand, but this picture is an important picture. This is my mother-in-law's parents. This is my wife's grandparents. This is important. And it's broken. All because of this goddamn cat who we should have named Peter Pan because he refuses to grow up.
I mean, okay.
I thought cats get a certain age, they sleep most of the day. And because they sleep most of the day, kind of keeps them out of a lot of the bullshit. Here's the thing. He's managed to do both. He's managed to get his sleep in, his beauty sleep, and still wreak havoc around the house.
That's his
Now, I've often called him dumb, but he's got to have some sort of level of higher intelligence to be able to pull this off. He's a bastard. So,
pretty sure that's technically true.
That's technically true.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, pain in the ass cat, breaking shit up in the house, being a general agent of chaos. And every time he does something he literally has no business to be doing, and you chastise him for it, his eyes get big. Like, well, I never. That's the fuck you did.
I mean,
it's you. Why is it always you? So that is the cat bullshit. Now to a little more important stuff. So the other day, I'm sure some of you who follow my wife on social media saw that she was in the hospital. Put a picture of it. Food poisoning. That, first of all, that morning, she was clearly not feeling well, and I really did not want her to go.
Right.
To the point where it crossed my mind, just grabbing keys, like, nah, go lay your ass down.
Right.
But I didn't. You know why? Because she's an adult.
Facts.
Now, I'm not a parent, not her parent.
Yep. Correct.
And that's very controlling.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But that was my first, I ain't gonna hold you. That was my first, like, I don't like to see her in discomfort. And I don't like, then she has to be someplace at work while in discomfort. Like, nah. And plus, I have this whole attitude too about the culture that forces us to force ourselves to go in to do when we're feeling like shit. I have a problem with that. But anyway, she did go to work. Started feeling a little better, then she started feeling a little worse. All right. And decided that she needed to go to urgent care. Insurance is crazy, though. So the one that's near her job didn't take her insurance.
Wow.
Yeah. And this particular insurance, Kaiser Permanente, is not.
Oh, no. Kaiser is terrible.
Yeah. Like,
nigga.
They was on some Apple shit, right? So
no, facts. They are the Apple of healthcare. No, all facts.
So she had to go all the way into DC to their medical center down there. And they had a waiting course, like they always do. Finally put in an examination room. Finally gave her an IV. Finally, Chrissy. Finally gave her some meds. And me and my son wound up going down there later to get her, see what it was done, whatever. We did that. Gotta say, I kind of liked the doctor she had.
Okay.
So, young Asian woman. Very attentive with certain stuff. I mean, they did leave her in there. She was in there for a minute. You know how they put the IV in, they got the bag. They started out, it was supposed to be 2 bags. The one bag was done, and nobody came back in there. By the time me and Lee got in there, that bag was flat. Said nobody ain't been in here since. So that was ass.
Right.
Here's the other thing that's ass. Security. So we get.
They ain't let you take your gun in?
This nigga. Yo, it's the reason why we hate him. You know what I'm saying? No, nigga. Look, they had this thing set up where, especially at a certain part of night, you can't just walk in this medical center. You gotta hit the button.
Mm-hmm.
Then a security guard will come out and let you in.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that.
I had Kaiser for 2 years.
Yes. I did that. And security guard comes, lets me and my son in now. Me and my son, let's say I'm about 250, 6'1". My son is probably like between 185, maybe 190, 5'11", maybe 6 feet, possibly with the right shoes on. Black men.
Right.
I understand. I get it. I get it. But then when we get in there, he asked us what we were here for. We told her who we was here for. Told him what we was here for. And he said, oh, yeah, just get the elevator right there and go down to the lower level and then go to the receptionist thing. And that there was no. That's it. There was one little receptionist lady behind the thing. We told her we came to see. She hit the button, buzzed us in. We walked in. Here's why this is a problem. Should be happening, B.
No, thanks.
They didn't ask for any ID.
Right.
For us to confirm who the fuck we said we are.
Mm-hmm.
For all they know, my wife could have been a mob wife. Got sick.
Nigga. Right. Somebody was coming to finish the job.
Put a hit on it.
Right.
Right. Walk up there, even the searches, do nothing. Just walk up there, walk in the room. And my mind, listen, I get it. Everybody's not gonna think like that. However, I have seen shit happen. B.
Well, here's the thing though. Like, as far as being searched, no, I don't think that's common. Being searched, but every time I've had to visit a hospital for someone, I have had to show my ID and I've had to sign in. We didn't even sign in, B. Right.
And I had a black bag with. Let's say the pat down is a bit much.
Right.
I got a black bag, and this bag is big enough.
Oh my God!
To have held a 380, a 22. I could have slid in there a compact Sardis 9mm, which is a low capacity handgun that looks like a Glock, but it is not. All of those things could have fit in this bag.
You could have had a needle.
I could have had a hypodermic needle with some shit to put some air bubbles in some shit and have bloodstream. It's a mini thing, a knife, small little knife coming in, be out.
Right.
It's a lot of things I could have. They didn't check it. Nothing. Now, to be clear, what was in the bag was chargers. Right? For a while, she was bored as hell. We didn't know how long it was going to take.
Right.
So we bought the charger phone, blah, blah, blah. And I had my charger, this case, you know what I'm saying? But it's just the principle of the thing, sir.
Yeah.
The principle of it is anything can happen. And I get that they went out of their way to try to gentrify as much of DC as they possibly could.
But it ain't that.
Ain't that damn shit happens.
Facts.
Right? And as somebody who has experienced enough shit happening, tell you these are red flags for me. I have seen killers walk into the funeral of the people they have killed. All right. That the whole neighborhood knew they killed them. And they walked in, view the body, and then leave.
Right.
There's been incidents where motherfuckers have shot up funerals. I'm just saying the security was wanting.
Nigga.
Yeah, like, come on. You gotta do better than that. But other than that, she was in pretty good spirits because they gave her the meds for her stomach, and then of course they were replacing the fluids. Her blood pressure was kind of high because she was throwing up the blood pressure medication, right? So it was a little high, whatever. But they got that stabilized down as well. So all is well. She's probably gonna be feeling like off and on like crap for the next couple of days or whatever.
Yeah.
But the nurse, the doctor said to us, she starts feeling a certain kind of way, pain in the stomach, vomiting, and all of the other shit like that. She needs to come back. She assures them. She said, "You see them too? There's nowhere where I can be home feeling like crap." And they like,
right?
Yeah, it's a fact. It's not happening. Not doing it. And that pretty much was my week.
I mean, nigga. I can't match that.
I believe you can.
So I guess I don't know where to fucking start after all that. We started the moving process. I'm looking forward to the result, but nigga, I am dreading the process.
I know you are. I hate it.
Cause
I hate moving.
Oh my God. I am not looking forward to the process. If I could just fast forward and just be in the new place.
We paid a moving company one time.
I know. I'm sure. I'm gonna have to look. What up? I'm gonna have to look into it because we ain't as young as we used to be. When I moved in here, I had like 3 or 4 people helping me. We ain't as young as we used to be. All those people were older than me. So
niggas ain't lifting nothing. Listen,
bruh.
I'm lifting fork.
Particularly, like the only thing that I might personally make sure I take care of, you already know, this room.
Yeah, of course.
This room.
Of course.
Outside of that, I'm willing to let whoever.
Bro, it was the same way. When we moved over here, I was like, nah, let me tell you something. I pack my gear.
Right.
And I bring my gear.
Facts.
I'm not letting you put none of this shit on nobody's truck.
Facts.
It's not happening. Not fucking my shit up. And they go, oops.
Nah,
B.
Nah. We don't do oops.
Don't do oops. Because then I start slipping.
Stuff in this room.
I start slipping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ain't no oops with the shit in this room. Nah, B. The whole there's a lot of money.
There's a lot of money.
Nigga.
Like, no.
Nigga, the amount of money that was put into the things that are in this room.
Yeah, fuck that.
Woo! Nah, I'm good. I am not really with a move. I am not in position to replace.
Oh, hell no. Let me ask you this. How far away?
Like 15.
All right. So that is enough time to hit enough bumps.
Nigga.
Break enough shit.
Absolutely it is.
Fuck that.
Absolutely it is. Yeah, about 15 minutes away. So nah, like I said, I mean, there are things that are in this room that could go with someone else.
Yes.
But the main things that are in this room, nah, B. They stay with me.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you, bro. They can move your sound phone.
Yeah. You know, the old desk, you know. Yeah, you know, the little storage shelf over here. Yeah, they can some fucking the power strips. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
That might be it though. Maybe the C stand, because the C stand, even though it's expensive, that shit durable.
It's durable as a motherfucker.
It's going to break something else.
Yeah, before it breaks. And I'm sure you got a couple of pens.
Yeah, I mean, you know, shit. I mean,
a pen,
whatever.
Too.
You know, whatever this was.
Right,
you
can
go ahead.
Put that in the box.
What the fuck was this? Oh, this is for the mic. So actually, maybe not.
No, they can't. For a second, I thought it was the ultimate nullifier, but I realized it didn't have
But facts, like, yeah, anything in here that costs more than $100.
Yeah, you can get shit.
Fuck on that. Maybe some of these light stands. You know, the cheaper ones though, not the more expensive ones. No, not the more expensive ones.
Pieces and knobs.
Yeah, no, not the more expensive ones. Maybe the old tripod. You know, that gray one, that gray rickety one.
Oh
maybe that tripod.
I can see that.
But nah, that's about
it.
That's about it. But so that'll be a whole thing. Next up, just an EP, still streaming. It's available on Bandcamp.
Music, there's always music.
Soul Sessions is still streaming on all platforms, and the deluxe version is available on Bandcamp. There's that's in addition to a bunch of music that's just it's just all over the place. There's always assume.
Always assume that there's music.
Always assume that there's music. Still doing the TikTok thing. Make sure you'll go follow me if y'all don't. Handle is everything by SBJ, one word. That's just going the way it goes. I've gotten back to working on the acoustic project, so that's really fun to work. Like, I didn't imagine how fun it would be.
You have a whole live acoustic band up in there playing up?
Yeah, my VSTs.
Oh yeah, that's
my VSTs, absolutely. I did not realize, like, when I did the first two songs a while ago, I was like, oh, that was cool. Now thinking of doing all of the songs is like, this is kind of like, this is another, like, some people look at it like, and this is valid. Some people look at it like, okay, this is your IP. This is another way to monetize an IP that you already have, right? Yeah. But I look at it as, this is my IP. This is another way to be creative with an IP that I already have. So it's really been a lot of fun.
And you know what? This is not the first time somebody's repurposed content.
Right.
The thing is, you know, when you put like different instrumentation and shit like that on stuff, it gives a different feel. So it's like, I can tell you, there has been songs on people's albums that I really wasn't feeling until I heard the remix version of it,
bruh.
And they added a whole new value to it.
There are songs to this day that either it's a difference between album version and radio version, or a remix and the original, that are not on streaming. And whenever I listen to that album that it's on and I hear that song, I get mad because the one I want to hear is not the one that's
the version of the song, Buck 'Em Down, right? From Smith & Wesson.
Yeah.
The video version was so hard. Like, it was crazy. And that's when I first heard it, was that version.
Yeah.
I went and bought the project. That version is not on the
It's
project.
The worst, y'all.
I was mad, and I found out later why I wasn't on the project is because they did that literally right before they did the video. The music, the album had already been submitted, and the producer came up with this different thing, and they heard it, and it was like, oh, no.
Like, yeah, we gotta do this.
So it wound up becoming the video version of it, but it wasn't. And for years, you could not find that. And then eventually they wind up putting it out on something. And I was like, it's about time. But yo, Buck 'Em Down The chorus, all of it, it was a mixture of smooth but hardcore like lyrics with
Word.
like the chorus. They was harmonizing with the buck 'em down. That shit was mean. I was like, how is this not on the album?
Yo, and that it frustrates me to no end. Because there's always different reasons. Sometimes you don't even know the reason. Like it's a few songs. Like there's a song, "I'm a King," by the video. There was a video for it. It's T.I.'s song, and I think Scrappy on there, somebody else. I love that song. On Spotify, that song exists.
Right.
Not the same people on it, not the same verses. My favorite T.I. verse is still on there, but it's also the edited version only. And it's by PSC, which is Pimp Squad Click, which I guess is a group he was trying to promote. I don't fucking know. And T.I.'s name is not on it. So, and then like the Jay-Z song, Dear Summer.
Yeah.
It's not on the Jay-Z album. It's on Memphis Bleek's 234 or some shit like that. It's on Memphis Bleak album. So I'm like, what? It doesn't even say Jay-Z's name, if I remember correctly. And it's like shit like that. Like, how would you have searched that? I happened to stumble across it. Like, how would you have searched that fucking song? And like shit like that. Like another example.
Speaking of music and shit that I wasn't supposed to like when it first came out. But I did wind up liking it because I felt, this at core, this is hip hop. Bow Wow song, Fresh as I'm Is.
Facts.
Me a classic. That is a classic hip hop song. The attitude,
absolutely.
The vibe of it. No, he's not spitting these.
Nah.
But what he's saying, how he's saying it, and to that beat, and then the core, that is classic hip hop attitude where he is talking his shit.
Absolutely.
He is talking his shit. That is to me the most authentic Bow Wow song because he went at that time. Like,
nah, nigga.
Yeah, this is authentic. Like,
no, you know another one? No, listen. Hear me out.
All right.
There's another song that fits kind of that same criteria.
Really?
And Bow Wow's on the song. It's not his song, but he's on the song.
All right.
I Think They Like Me remix.
The
original,
right.
The remix is
we was just talking about.
Yeah, it got Jermaine P on there, got the Brad on there, got Bow Wow on there, and they are all like, it's that energy, that vibe, that, and it's like, yo, I would never listen to the original version of the song, but this remix, my nigga,
yo,
what?
And to show you how it works the opposite sometimes too. So he has a version of Fresh as I'm Is with Mike Jones. I hate that. I don't want to hear Mike Jones verse. And I like all three of Bow's verses, all three of them. And when he's in it, when Mike Jones is in it, I feel like it breaks the immersion of this swaggy ass young nigga that's basically telling Lil Romeo, you ain't riding, you ain't bumping like I'm bumping, you ain't saying nothing, homie, you ain't fresh as I'm. Yo, it's a hip hop sentiment all day, a braggadocio all day hip hop sentiment. What he called? So he called that. He called that nigga Lil Buddy. Listen. He was dunking on him with that.
Oh, no, that listen. I don't understand. Like, I understand why people would put them in the same category. Because they both happen to be young rappers. That's it. That's the only comparison.
Same, bro.
Romeo didn't have a career.
No.
Like, what are you talking about? He had singles because his father. Right. Bow Wow had a career. Bow Wow was a legend.
Yeah. Yo, I know Bow Wow has done some super clownish shit.
Right.
But I will go on record as saying I will not allow people to then try to use that shit to say he wasn't what he was.
Nah,
he was a kid.
I won't allow any Bow Wow music career slander.
No.
Bow Wow person slander?
Yeah, that's different.
I don't. Yeah, but Bow Wow antics slander. Yeah,
look at their
movies.
We not like I said, bro. A lot of the people. That's one thing I dislike. It's like I saw a lot of the Drake fans trying to do that with Mos Def. You could disagree with Mos Def said. And there's a lot of real hip hop fans that disagree with what Mos Def seen them, right? You can disagree with it, but one thing you're not going to do, you're not going to discredit this man because
Yeah.
He was more than just some underground rapper.
Yo.
This nigga did movies too.
You know what's funny about that? I made a video about that. Matter of fact, let me see if I can, because there's a point in there that I made. One of the worst arguments to me in life is people that argue that simply because someone didn't do the thing that they're talking about, that they couldn't possibly have an opinion.
Yeah.
And that shit is fucking bananas in my mind. Like, I don't understand the thought. Like, so it was a instance where Cam Newton, former NFL starting quarterback, he said something about right. He said something about two quarterbacks that are currently playing, and he didn't actually mean it in a disparaging way, but people took it as a disparaging way because that's how we had. Yeah. So it was this woman, and I hate so much. Oh my God. I hate one of my big, like, upon recent introspection, I might be able to say that confidently. My biggest pet peeve is people who perpetuate stereotypes negatively because you make it hard for other people.
Agreed.
So this woman, I don't remember her name, got on national television and said something to the effect of, this is the year of the backup quarterback and Cam Newton is not on anybody's team. He's sitting at home. It's almost like these people that be sitting in their basements that's talking about me when I'm actually here doing it. And what are you talking about? This man, the person that you just discredited, right? The person you just discredited is a Heisman winning, NFL MVP winning, offensive player of the year, offensive rookie of the year, all pro Bowl quarterback. There are very few in the entire world who have done the things that he has done.
Facts.
You cannot discredit him because he's not currently playing.
Yo, it's so absurd. People use that. It's like so because he's not currently doing it now, we get to throw away all the shit that he did previously in this particular lane.
In this particular sport. It's not like he's an athlete that's talking about a sport he didn't play. Even still, his opinions would be valid.
No.
Like, even with that, his opinion is still valid because it's his opinion. You can look at something and assess it.
Exactly. Like the rest of us can look at it and say, hey, guy, you're not a doctor. So your opinion doesn't have the same value to me or weight to me as a doctor. That does not mean the person can have an opinion. They wanted to
say more importantly, it don't make them right or wrong.
Exactly.
That they have the experience.
Exactly.
It's not the experience that makes them right or wrong.
It's what they're saying.
It's the take itself.
Yeah.
Right. A bad take is a bad take is a bad take. It does not get worse because you've never played.
Exactly.
It does not get better because you played.
Yeah, I played, right.
Like, what are we talking about? Anyway, Chrissy and I recorded more for the podcast. I have the logo. I just have to put together the rest of the infrastructure and we should be close to launch. I think I said by March. So if I said by March, we're still on track. I mean, it is what it is. We're on track. If I didn't say by March, we're on track to release by March. Okay. If I didn't say by March, then we're ahead of schedule. I'll also be on their podcast Monday. So
that should be interesting.
Anybody that wants to go over there and check us out.
And by the way, if you want to go and check it out. Now, me personally, I'm going on record now and saying that I am not going to show up and troll in the comments. I mean, that's not true. That's not true. It's not true. It's simply not true. It's not true. It's cool. It's fine. We've come to expect. Like everybody involved
that is aware of you knows what it is.
That is not. Listen. How dare? First of all, how dare all of you?
Oh, okay. That's what's happening. That's what we're doing now.
Oh, how dare all of you make these assumptions?
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, work. So it's interesting how things change.
Weather changes,
bruh.
People's attitudes changes,
nigga.
The money changes.
Now, before I start this story, I want to be clear. I am not attacking anyone. Mainly 2 reasons. One, I like being able to pay my bills.
No, right? That's a fact, bro. I mean, that has
but two, because I actually don't know who's responsible for the things I'm about to complain about.
Right. Right.
The overall story isn't a negative story. It's just the road to get there was a little bumpy.
Right. So keep going.
So
I can hear you. Keep going.
Okay. So 4 years ago or so, I was asked to help with the implementation of a new system that we were to use at work. I was excited about because if you've been around long enough, you know I love projects. I love working on projects. And something that maybe you may have picked up that I don't know if I've ever said on here. As much as I don't like people, I like collaboration. I really like collaboration. Because I think that's more so because I know I'm not. I don't have the ego to think that I can do everything by myself. I think I'm aware enough to see when something would be better if I had someone doing work with me versus me trying to do all of it on my own. And then on top of that, at work, with stuff at work, I don't necessarily want the whole burden. So I like projects, and I even more like group. I ain't gonna go as far as to say group, because when you say group, some people think of a lot of people. I'm talking about a few people. So I was excited about it for that reason, but it was dead in the water. It was dead on arrival. It was not something anyone should have ever chosen. When I looked at it, I saw all these issues, and I'm like, okay, this is a problem. This is wrong. This is not right. Why doesn't this work? And they're like, somebody, I can't remember who it was. Somebody's like, well, don't scrutinize it that much. Let's just make sure the core of it does what it's supposed to do. I'm like, all right, bet. So we start to put it in place, and at one location. And the day that we went to put it in place at that one location, at the first location, it was clear that everybody involved with this was not on the same page. It was abundantly clear, because whether that's just me and my partner that were the ones that were wrong, or whatever the case may be, but it was clear that everybody was not on the same page. My understanding of what that was supposed to be, a part of it, a decent part of it, was supposed to be making our process easier for prospective tenants. And there was something very obvious that would have helped to do that. And I suggested, I didn't even suggest it. I assumed that it was already in the plan, and I mentioned it, and the people that were in that room with me were like, oh, no, we're not doing that.
Oh,
wait, what? So what? A part of this isn't to make life easier for the people that are potentially going to be applying with us?
Want to do that?
To make it easier for us to actually get people to move in with us, which means that they will be on the hook to pay us money every month. Like, we don't want. Oh, okay, my bad. I thought we were trying to secure more people.
You thought?
Hey, listen. Clearly, I was wrong. But no, what it really was is, certain people not being familiar with certain things, and because they're unfamiliar, having a certain distrust.
That sounds so familiar.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as to call it paranoia, but it was close. Right. It was close, because their concerns were founded, but just not really likely, like
right,
given what we were doing. So, one of the only issues I've really ever had with my job, outside of the people, is how old school a lot of the thinking is. And this was a barrier when this is always going to be a barrier when trying to move forward.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be people that are not, that don't understand.
I think there's a term for that. These people are conservative. They want to conserve the old way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Even though the new way is more efficient, but they want to preserve the old way because it's comfortable for them.
Yes. And like I said, there were some fears of things that were technically possible, but not necessarily likely.
Right.
So that was the thing. So,
and what basically when AI eventually takes your job.
Bruh, listen. And the reason it got so bad was simply because nobody involved me or the person who was in charge of the department that this all relates to until after they made the decision.
Yeah.
So there were multiple snags, and eventually we got it to the point where we could convince them this is not working. This is not going through it. There's nothing that can be done, apparently, because the issue that we were facing, the overall issue that we were facing, is there were changes that need to be made to the program. The person that made it, we had no contact with the person who made the program.
Right.
We had contact with a person who contracts the person who made the program. So the person who made the program doesn't work for us.
Right.
The person that works for us is who is in charge of the person who makes the program. But it's not like a hierarchy type thing. It is they're contracted to them. So I'll say something very simple, like text manipulation. I know everybody isn't a fucking coder, so but text manipulation is the concept of text manipulation is one of the basic things that you can do in coding. It's coding 101.
Right.
The vast majority of coding tutorials for beginners start with you being able to make to put enough code to program a program that displays the text "Hello World."
Right.
That is the 101 lesson of the vast majority of coding.
Right.
Like, that's "Hello World." So that's text, nothing but text manipulation. Now, it can get a little complicated, but what we were asking for was not complicated. We simply wanted that when you leave this field, that the text in the field is no longer visible. That's it.
Yeah.
Change the text in the field to asterisks. That is not difficult to do on a programming level. It's really not difficult to do. I want to stress how simple it is if you are proficient in the language that you are working on. Not even proficient. Wait, no, that's not even true. You know enough, you ain't even gotta be
super proficient.
Because I'm not technically I wouldn't call myself proficient in any coding language.
Right.
But I could absolutely have done a fucking masked box. Like what? Anyway, so it was stuff like that. And what my boss came to the conclusion, we don't know for sure, but she was like, the guy that made the program is probably dead. Nobody, and it makes sense because so you program in languages, but I don't know, I'm gonna say every, but the vast majority of languages have variables that you can use, and you name the variables. So the problem is if you have some type of weird naming convention, I can know this programming language like the back of my hand. But when I look at your code, I'm not going to be able to read it because your fucking variables have weird naming conventions. I don't know what the fuck anything really is because the way you've named these things. So she surmised that the person who made it died or doesn't work with that company anymore, and nobody could read his code. And that's why the changes weren't being made. That's what she thinks. We never got a confirmation. She never actually said that to the person that contracted them, but that's kind of what she thought, and it kind of makes sense because why else would you be fighting so hard to not make this very simple change? Like, but anyway, like I said, eventually we got them to realize like this is not going to work. It doesn't work. It will never work the way that we want it to work. We finally got them to realize that. So we started working on a more established system, a system that is countrywide known and used. We got to the point that over months.
Oh man.
And hour, 2 hour long meetings and shit like that. We got to the point we were at the mountaintop. We saw what was over the horizon. But I promise you, we did not get there. We were at the fucking finish line. You know the point where like you running and then you see the finish line and you see the videos where the person will slow up a little bit because they know they got it. They start celebrating and shit. And then at the last second, somebody zoom right past them and win. It was that type of thing. Like we were to the point, like the last meeting that we had with them, bruh, the last meeting we had with them, at the end of that meeting, the conversation was how long it was going to take to get things up and running.
Right.
The last thing that there was to do is to sign contracts. That was the conversation at the end of that meeting.
Right.
And we were like, yes, we're finally here. We're going to get something sophisticated that we know works already, that is going to be easy for everybody involved. It's going to be a little bit learning curve, sure, because it's new, but once everybody learns how to use it, it's going to be butter. Nigga. This meeting, that last meeting that I just referenced was probably in November or so. Y'all know I didn't really work much in December.
Of course.
So it's now January and I haven't heard anything about this particular company. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I talked to one of the people that was involved and she was like, have you heard anything? I'm like, nah. Have you heard anything? She's like, nah. I'm like, okay. A couple more days passed. I can't remember who told me, or even if they were talking to me or talking to somebody else, but somebody was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that because they wanted something that we couldn't actually do.
Right.
And I'm like,
damn.
So one day, last week or the week before, my boss calls me in the office. She officially tells me, and she's like, I got a recommendation for somebody for another platform. Could you check it out? So I'm about to check. I'm looking into it, doing research. I reached out for first contact, texting back and forth, asking them because there's a couple things that are absolutely non-starters. So it's like, if there's no reason for us to get to the demo phase, if these things are not true, I need these things to be true. So, I had set up the demo after they answered some of those questions, and Debbie was supposed to be sitting in these meetings with me. And it's like, all right, cool, bet. Well, I got an answer back to a question that I didn't have answered, and the answer was no. That's a non-starter. We can't use you. I went to research other people, found somebody, went to ask the questions. They said, they didn't say no to any of the questions. I'm like, all right, cool. That's a good start. Let's set up this demo. It's the weekend now. Sunday evening, I get a text from Debbie. Hey, I broke my arm. I won't be in this week. What? what is going on?
What are you saying?
What is happening? what the fuck is going on? So now I was in the position to have to make first contact with this person by myself. Y'all know I don't fucking like people.
Yeah.
Come on, man. But and then when I went to get on the goddamn Zoom call, the motherfucking link that he sent me didn't work. Then I told him that the link wasn't working. He sent me a link to something else. I'm like, this is not the link. This is asking me to do something else. And he's like, oh, let me send you another link. Finally, we got that working. Once we got that working, that call went smooth. We got another demo setting up. Like there was another place that was just like trying their hardest to sell me on something that my company's not interested in. Right. And I'm like, I'm just trying. Like, had it been not at my 9 to 5, right, I'd hung up on that motherfucker. Like, it was like annoying. Like I hate talking to people.
Yes.
The people that I hate talking to most are salesmen.
Yeah, because they
don't fucking.
Because they got one thing in mind.
Right.
They're trying to make that land, that sale or whatever, and they're not really listening a lot of times to anything other than how they're picking out things in your conversation that they can use to make.
Yeah, like on that call that I did end up taking, it was like, all right, I don't need any of the niceties, sir. I don't know you. You don't know me. We might never speak again. Right. I don't need you. Oh, did you go to such and such school? Leave me alone. Leave me be. I have friends in Baltimore. I don't care.
Yo, really?
I do not care. I am calling
care.
you. Right. Exactly. Like I am calling you for business. This is me trying to get my company in a better position. That is what I need from you. I don't need nothing else. We don't need to bond or relate. Can you do the things that the company needs you to do?
Talking to me.
Wow. So that whole process is both rewarding and annoying because I explained the whole process. I went from being in a position where I wasn't involved,
right,
to now I'm kind of spearheading the thing.
Yeah.
So that's
the whole thing.
It's good and bad to everything. There are pros and cons to everything, bro. Like in this situation where I had no say, it was almost bliss. I wasn't really responsible for anything.
Right.
Like it was, oh, well, I didn't make any of these decisions. I'm just here to make sure the shit worked. All right, cool. Now I have more freedom and there's a higher likelihood that whatever we get will work, but I got to deal with Tom telling me that he likes crab cakes. Like, I'm not for it. I'm not built for this shit. Like talking to people, like that part. Right. I'm not. Anyway. Next up, weekly, we remind you that it's always an option to just shut the fuck up. Right?
Yo, you can just literally not.
You could just always shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
A closely related concept that we also remind you guys often of, though we often say it in a joking manner, that doesn't mean it's not true. Mind your business.
Yo, mind
your business.
Business.
Mind your business. So someone that works in a different department who happens to be one of the newest people in the company as well, came to our department yesterday, loud, strong, and wrong. There is a pretty decent sized change going on that does involve her department. Absolutely. That exists.
Right.
For reasons that are not her or my, frankly, business.
Right.
My boss worked portions of last weekend. This person yesterday insinuated that my boss doesn't have the things under control that she should have under control.
Oh my.
She said effectively that it's crazy that everyone has to be done with their work by 4:45 yesterday, so that my boss could work all weekend to implement the change, and maybe my boss could use some help.
You know, that shade right there.
Well,
Could really get like a picnic table,
bruh,
or maybe a badminton net
Mm,
and a few other things up under that shade right there.
the problem though, on top of her sticking her nose in
Yeah,
place where it doesn't belong, is that she, as I said earlier, is loud and wrong. Everyone does have to be finished working. Well, did have to be finished working by Friday at 4:45. That's
Right.
true, but it has nothing to do with this change that is going on.
yeah,
It's nothing to do with what you
Yeah.
think it has to do with. We have equipment that is important to the company running, and I've told y'all before about the uninterruptible power supplies that we use
Yes.
for in case of backups and surges and all that other shit. I mean, not backups, blackouts and surges and all that other shit. We recently replaced batteries in some of them, so now we have to put the machines back onto the UPSs, and in order to do that and ensure that we don't mess anything up, we need everybody to not be working. Because we don't want to cut off something that somebody is trying to do in the middle of them doing it and fuck up their work. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with this change. And it is not being done so that my boss can work another full weekend. Like, what are you talking about? Mind your business.
This is the thing that's
just
funny.
do what you're told. Like, what?
Yo, that part. Yo, the thing that's funny is, for me, it's very entertaining for me. In these moments where somebody does come out loud, wrong, and strong, those moments I actually celebrate because it gives me the opportunity to show you in no compromising terms why you're wrong.
Bruh.
And then I get to accuse you of being ass.
Well, here's the thing.
You can't really say you not ass because
here's the thing. I didn't hear all of the conversation. I only heard bits and pieces. She was talking to my supervisor, was not my supervisor, and she handles things much more professionally
of
than
course
I.
Has.
Yeah,
that's
so
he's your supervisor, that's not your supervisor.
Yes, exactly. So when the lady left, my supervisor, that's not my supervisor, came over to me. She's like, "Did you hear that?" I'm like, "Nah, I just got bits and pieces." And then she told me the conversation, and I'm like, "Yo, what?" Like, it's almost as if, imagine this, it's almost as if my boss is the boss for a reason and knows what the fuck she's doing.
I gotta say, bro, when people do shit like that, they don't really harm the person they're doing it to. If they're doing it around people who know better, they're harming themselves.
Yes.
Your credibility,
bruh,
you, all of that shit is impacted by you being loud and proud to be wrong.
So
just
let this be a teachable moment, everybody. You thinking something doesn't make sense doesn't mean it's wrong.
Right.
If you are
that's a bar too. Bro, there are so many scenarios and conversations and topics,
bruh,
that covers, bro.
If you are an otherwise capable thinker, I have to add capable thinker. If you are an otherwise capable thinker, then sometimes you have to trust yourself. If it doesn't make sense, it's probably because that's not what's actually happening.
Yeah. And you have completely misinterpreted. And this is the reason for asking for clarity.
Bruh. It could have went very simple. It could have been, hey, Why do we have to shut off at 4:45?
Yeah.
Would have avoided all of that.
Yeah. Instead, you did something that's fairly hard for, I would say, 85.6% of the 8 billion people on this planet.
Nigga.
You tried to wrestle with the big picture and you hurt
yourself. Yo, you see this all the time with discussions about civil rights.
Yes.
Different political discourse. And I've dealt with it several times in my
picture.
Bro.
It pins you. And it pins you.
I've dealt with it several times in my personal life where a person will not know the whole story, come to a conclusion, feel like it doesn't make sense, but still move forward as if the assumption they made is fact.
Yeah.
Like, what are you, huh? Why would you assume? Like, I'll give you a super innocuous, means nothing example, right? So, like, I think it happened earlier today. Me and Chrissy was in the room, and I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but my hand moved towards her quickly. Right?
He's about to choke slammer.
and she jumped, and I'm like,
"Why are you jumping?
What? Why?" I said, "Wait, why did you just jump?
Did your hand move right after you said something like my pen pan is strong?"
No. We were. I don't even remember what the fuck we were talking about, but it had nothing to do with like anything like that. And I'm like, "Yo, why did you just jump? Like, you know I'm not gonna hit you." She's like, "I know you're not gonna hit me, but." And I'm like, "Whoa, no but." What the fuck? Anybody gonna hit you? Like, what are we talking about? Like, but yeah, like stuff like that. So, but obviously more serious than that.
Of course.
Because that doesn't annoy me. That's just that's human nature.
You need Chris got to have a talk about some trauma she may have. I
know, right?
Made you think that.
Yo, crazy. No. So yeah, I just it really annoys me when people do this seriously. Like when there's like you know, you're another example where it happened to me personally. I don't know if I told the story in here before, but I may have. My ex, and I'm friends with my ex's mother. I was friends with my ex's mother before I knew my ex.
Right.
So one day I saw my ex's mother while I was still with my ex. I saw my ex's mother and she was like looking down on me and fussing. And I'm like, wait, what is going on? What has you so upset? And she's like, I talked to my daughter and she said that you wouldn't do this, not that. And I said, really? I said, it was the kitchen. It was the kitchen. Oh, he'll never clean the kitchen, blah, blah, this, blah, blah.
Oh, geez.
I said, ma'am, how long have you known me? She's known me since I was 16. Oh. How long have you known your daughter? You raised her. You absolutely, she was in, this ain't no situation where y'all was estranged and no shit, like you raised that woman. Yeah. How many times have you ever seen her cook? Wait. And then because she had offended me before this point, the gloves were off.
I know it was. I already know.
Ma'am, she don't know how to cook because you never taught her how to cook. And you never taught her how to cook because you don't know how to cook. What happened is, what she's complaining to you about is, we had a deal that when I would be doing all the cooking, she would go ahead and take care of the kitchen. That's what she's complaining to you about. But you know she doesn't cook. So why would you assume that it was any other scenario? Yeah. And it's like, if you're going to make the assumption.
The assumption is crazy. But you know what? Part of her, she should have seen through that, because the implication is, like, she cooked and you ain't going like basically what she
Right.
did was gave her a half story that was
Yes.
twisted, distorted.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. And I added that talk to. I said, "Yo, how many times have you heard of a disagreement between me and your daughter? And how many times after it's been resolved did you find out that she wasn't telling you the whole story?"
Yeah.
So why would this one be different?
Because I can't think of a reason why. I can't think of a reason why this would be different.
It's like, yo, like, and to be clear to anybody that's listening, my idea wasn't believe me over your daughter.
No.
That's
Believe
not
your
what the fuck I'm saying.
experience.
Believe what you have witnessed.
Yeah.
You have observed.
Yeah.
You've
What
observed
are we
these things.
saying?
This isn't me making shit up. You were there. You saw these things.
I'm not asking
You've had
you to
conversations with her about these things.
Right. I'm not asking you to enter anything else into evidence that you have not
No.
already seen for yourself. That's it.
It's like, what do we? Okay, all right. I just and it's stuff like that that really annoys me because, like, why would you? You know, it doesn't make sense that would be the case. Exactly. That's the okay. All right.
Right.
So y'all know what time it is. It is time for the asshole. Okay.
Preemptive yes.
All right. So let's see. We want to make sure we get both perspectives. We gotta not the asshole overwhelming. And I'm not seeing no asshole overwhelmings. Y'all been good recently? Ain't no way they've been good recently. They hear me. But I'm really not. Yo, okay, final one. Okay, these two seem interesting. All right, one. Am I the asshole for assuming my friends were paying for my birthday meal? This happened a few days ago, and I've been conflicted since. Before my birthday, 5 of my friends asked if I would like to get some food and drinks out for my birthday event. I said, sure. Where would we go? They said, anywhere you would like. I suggested a nearby steakhouse that I have been to in the past. We all met there. The one friend was quick to order himself a drink and started talking about appetizers. I said, I don't normally get appetizers, but fuck it, I'll try one. They didn't say fuck it, but I editorialized real quick. But I don't normally get them, but I'll try one. We ordered our mains, and we all had ordered the steak and another round of drinks. At which point, another of my friends also ordered a bottle of champagne. I said, you guys don't need to get me champagne. It's only my birthday, nothing too special. The first friend said, lighten up, birthday boy, have some fun. I did think maybe I was being too uptight, and since I was being treated, it's not too big of a problem. I may as well celebrate. First friend starts arguing with the table next to us because they threw a French fry at him. Wait, what?
Hold up. Wait a second.
No, it gets worse. In the very next sentence, it gets so much worse.
Oh my goodness.
So I'll reread that sentence. Mike started arguing with the table next to us because they threw a French fry at him. I tried to explain to him that they weren't even eating French fries. He had them earlier and must have dropped one. Then he stood up and started swearing at them. There was a child at the table about 3 years old who looked absolutely shocked. I told Mike to sit down, and he started pushing me, saying, that man threw something at me. The waiter came over and said there had been complaints about us. Mike just silently drank his beer, and Adam started arguing with the waiter, saying the other table started it. The waiter said we need to pay up and leave in the next few minutes before there was a problem. I said, thanks, guys. Do you want me to help pay? At which point, they all looked at me, and Adam said, you're the birthday man, right? You got money. I said,
whoa.
I said, I thought you were inviting me because it's my birthday as a present.
No, they said that.
Adam chuckled a bit and said, weren't you the one that chose where we were going?
You asked? Oh my, yo.
Adam got up to leave and said, let's go, boys. I started to worry. I thought they were pranking me or something and said, you can't really go. Then Adam started to walk away. So I grabbed him and he looked at my hand and said, get your hand off me, pal. I just looked at him and said, why are you acting like this? They walked out and left me with the bill. I tried to explain to the waiter about the situation. He said, somebody got to pay, and your table was causing a lot of trouble tonight. I tried to apologize, but he just looked at me like I was dirt. So I just paid it. It was most of my money. I spoke to my friends after, and they just acted like nothing. Bro!
That's your first mistake right there.
I spoke to my friends after, and they just acted like nothing happened. I said, you guys need to pay me back. And I got several replies along the lines of, it's already over, leave it alone. So I haven't spoke to them in a few days, and I received a few messages asking me if I am still crying or if I grew up yet. I haven't replied, and I want to know if I was wrong to assume that I wouldn't be paying. The whole situation had me feeling weird. Bruh.
Yo.
First
of all, the moment he just said, get your hands off me, pal.
What
the fuck, yo? Like, all right, so let's go through this again. They asked him if he wanted to go to a restaurant and had drinks and dinner for his birthday.
That means that they are taking you right.
What the fuck?
It would be different if he said, hey, since it's my birthday, let's go such and such place. That's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for them to come to him, yeah.
Yo, bro. What? First of all, you gotta run me my fade.
Thanks.
Like,
because what are you talking? What is going on here? Take my hands off of you.
Each individual,
what the fuck is wrong with
one by one, gotta run me a fade, yo. Like,
bruh. I mean, luckily it's only two of them. So,
yeah, niggas, yeah, you gotta run me my fade.
I just don't. All right, let's see if I can find the dissenting opinion.
You're the answer. You
have put
your hand on him.
Well, somebody said. So okay, listen to this. Okay. How do you not realize that these guys think you're a chump? They're bullying you for fun, and you're feeding into it. That's why they make snide comments to each other, because they're bragging to each other about how easy it is to abuse you for fun. They don't even work with you anymore. Oh, apparently they work together at some point. They don't even work with you anymore. You're the asshole to yourself for continuing to enable them taking advantage of you and treating you like shit for their own amusement. Forget about the money you spent, or rather, always remember it as a lesson of what happens if you continue to hang around with bullies.
All right, so no. The reason I'm saying no about this, we have no evidence that they've been abusing him the whole time they was in this friendship. Like, I didn't hear
Yo. Somebody said, what even is this post? Yeah, you're the asshole for making us read this. Grow a spine.
All right. So what I take from these two gentlemen is they're either trolling or they're just generally would want to be assholes themselves, since he wasn't in this. The reality of the situation is people are assuming facts that are not in play here, sir.
Yeah.
No one said anything about they've been bullying him this entire time.
Right.
That was not part of it. They're adding that shit on there just so they can have something meaningless and mean to say. That's all that is. The reality of the situation is he should never talk to these motherfuckers again.
Facts.
From what we have gathered from the information that was given, he was well within the reasonable expectation that they were about to do something for him for his birthday. They worded it as such. And the fact that they went and pulled this bullshit right here, he should never talk to them again. Like, for what? Now, he ain't necessarily got to be like me, because we definitely going to fight. Like, we going to fight, because I just spent a shit ton of money on my birthday after having the expectation that I wasn't going to spend hardly anything. At the very least, I wouldn't pay for the entire fucking meal, right? So, and then you try to play me out in front of people, like I'm a fucking chump. When I grab, like, yo, what the fuck is you niggas doing? You start saying, get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape, or whatever the fuck it is. He said, yo, nah,
somebody said everybody sucks here. Originally, I thought you were the asshole because, frankly, you are for expecting your friends to pay.
What on his birthday? Yo, I'm done.
This is the type of shit. Like, yo, what are we doing here? What is happening?
No, people.
Am I being punked or some shit? Like, what? The vast majority of you're the assholes are people saying you're the asshole for yourself for continuing to call them your friends. So I'll give them that. But outside all the other shit, they've been abusing you and blah blah, all that other shit. Nah,
no, we don't know that.
We don't know that. We have no evidence of that.
See, that's expected. That I said think about because people add shit to stuff all the time.
Yo, somebody say you're the asshole. Stop being a pansy. What?
You just want to call a man you want to call somebody a pansy today,
right?
So
clearly,
that's all. That's all that is.
Like, what is going? All right, next one. Am I the asshole for refusing to change my seat, even though the teacher told me several times? Oh, okay. I'm in high school and I have high functioning autism. I have several accommodations for myself as well as my service dog. In my section, I have preferred seating where I agree with the teacher on a seat that works well for me. The teacher randomly moved me a few weeks ago to a seat that wasn't working. There was no space for my dog to lay down, and I knew it wouldn't work with my sensory issues. She didn't tell me about this. So instead of going to sit down, I went to the principal's office. The principal knows about my condition as well as the accommodations I have. So she offered to talk to the teacher about my seat. The next day, I returned, and the teacher moved me to a new seat. While there was space for my dog to lay down, the seat still wouldn't work for me. Instead of going to the office, I sat down in my old spot. The teacher yelled at me, telling me I wanted... the teacher yelled at me, telling me I wanted a new seat. Oh, okay. Telling me that I wanted a new seat, so she gave me one. I went to the new seat, and eventually I had a meltdown. I don't see the big deal about letting me sit in my old seat since there's not anyone sitting there. Since then, I've spoken to 5 different counselors, principals, etc. She still refuses to move me back to my old seat. Am I the asshole for refusing to sit in the new seat after being told several times by the teacher? I was wrong. When I picked this, I thought that the consensus was you're the asshole. The consensus here is everybody sucks. Now, before let me just say this. One of the effects of being autistic is needing structure and needing consistency. The amount of thinking and planning and all that goes into any change for a lot of autistic people is simply not worth making the change.
Right.
If you ever see someone trying to take care of an autistic person, and a change has to be made, just watch how they deal with the autistic person and watch how the autistic person responds.
Right.
I saw a TikTok the other day about a mother. It was a mother who has a son who is autistic, and she had an appointment. She got some, like, it was a serious doctor's appointment. So it was nothing she could do. The way that their schedules work and everything, that had to be when she had her appointment. That's when she would have had to see the doctor. But going to that appointment would have meant that she wouldn't have been there at the end of the day to pick him up.
Right.
So she gave him 2 options. She said, either you stay home from school that day, or you understand that I am going to be late picking you up. He wowed out because, as I said earlier, a lot goes into, put it like this. When you see people going to extraordinary lengths to do something positive, a good amount of the time, it's because it's necessary.
Right.
So when you see people that are accommodating to people who are autistic, it's because if that's not the case, the likelihood of that change being effective is very small.
Right.
I do not understand, barring people just not understanding autism, which is absolutely likely.
Oh yeah.
Do not understand, barring that, how this can be everyone sucks here. Especially when it seems as if he did what he was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he went through the proper channels.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as if he says he has high functioning, so it's not like he has severe where immediately it's a blow up.
Right.
That's not what happened. So I don't really know how you could come to the conclusion
that everyone here sucks.
Everyone.
So let's talk about the teacher for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, of course, have the schematics to that room, that building, and all of that. But this teacher obviously doesn't understand how to deal with that.
Right.
In her mind, she's thinking you didn't have room for your dog before.
Right.
Now you have room for your dog. She's probably also thinking this room, we don't have anything that covers everything on that checkbox you look for right there. But this is the closest I have.
Right.
What she's not factoring in is that all of those things may be true, but this person is not
neurotypical.
Right. So
your reasoning isn't the same.
It's not going to land.
Right.
It's not going to land. And this actually reminds me a lot of the videos I was watching this week on free will with the neuroscientists, and how one particular neuroscientist was talking about functionings of the brain.
Wait, stop. Remember where you are.
Yeah.
I saw this fucking comment. It's crazy how insufferable you sound as a person using your disorders to get what you want.
This is literally what that neuroscientist was talking about. This is literally what he was talking about. He was like, when you speak of things like gumption or things that say you just have to have the will to do blah, blah, blah. If you cannot attach any of those things to a physical part of the brain, which we can map, and we know a lot more about what causes people to behave certain types of ways, about this, that, and the third. That you're speaking about is from some outside source that you cannot identify where that would come from.
Right.
This guy can only operate with the shit that he has in his brain.
Facts.
How his brain is set up. It's going to behave that way. All of that other stuff that people talk about, well, still, you got to, a lot of that shit, if you cannot attach it to a functioning of this person's brain that causes him to be able to even have the possibility of responding the way you want this person to respond, right, you're fooling yourself.
Completely.
100% fooling yourself, right?
Yo, this. Wait, where is it? I just saw. Because don't get me wrong, there are people in here. Like, even though the consensus is everybody sucks here, I am seeing quite a few not the assholes. So I got to read this one. You're the asshole, though. And how? Never mind. You're an asshole. In a few years, you'll be in the workforce or otherwise independently navigating society. Now is the time to learn how to adapt to change. You won't be accommodated your whole life. You are intelligent enough to know your triggers. Start dealing with them. What?
Again,
no,
again, bro. The more and more I hear shit like this, the more and more what a lot of those neuroscientists were saying rings true. You are expecting him to be able to do something outside of the functioning of his brain. Attach what you just said there to one of his brain functions, the way they operate. Where is he going to find that stuff from?
It's not real. These people are not fucking serious, yo. I gotta read it. I gotta read it, not the asshole. I gotta read it, not the asshole. Not the asshole. Why aren't your parents advocating for you? That's I think you might be making a leap. I don't know that we know that that's true.
That happened. We don't know
Right.
whether or not they came up there and said something. Right.
But it seems they go on to give advice. First, email all the people you've already spoken to, so you have written documentation reminding them of the plan, and that it's a legal document backed by the federal law. If that doesn't work, email your district's head special education person. Right. If they don't respond, email the superintendent and the entire school board. If that doesn't work, contact the ACLU and file a complaint with the U.S. Department of Education Office of Civil Rights. This has been downvoted.
Of course it has.
What? Outside of the part where they assume that the parents aren't advocating, everything else is spot on. Like, what are we doing? This, profound sadness. Profound sadness. You're the asshole. You sound so spoiled and high maintenance and exhausting. Poor teacher. You're the asshole. Go ahead.
Let's take again. Let's just take what they said right there. What is the difference between you saying that about this person whose brain works a certain type of way, than you impugning someone else that has it even worse than he does, that reacts horribly because of the way their brain is set up, and then you get on here and say, "You are ridiculous. That's acting crazy." Completely outside. No, it's not acting completely outside the way this person's brain works.
Correct.
This way. Yeah. And again, look, if this had been a few years ago, I would have said the same thing.
Sure. Yeah.
But once you start learning a little bit more about the way this shit, it's like, nah, that's not. He can't pull it. The shit you're talking about him doing that would satisfy you and your respectability shit. He can't pull that from just the ether.
Yeah,
his brain has to be able to work that way to pick that shit up, and it doesn't.
And here's the thing: it's not just about understanding, right?
Right.
Because you can understand that this is evidenced by the way that he didn't immediately melt down.
Right.
He clearly understands that that's not the favorable outcome.
Right.
It wasn't something he could help. You telling him that this is not proper is not doing anything. He's already aware of that.
This is what I'm going to say about the people that are doing that. I'm going to give them a little bit of grace.
A tiny bit.
Tiny bit, because the overwhelming narratives that our society has built up that come from a complete ignorance of how the brain works. The average person does not really know that. And they have been filled up with these things that don't really comport with the data. But they don't know that because they don't know shit. So they're clearly going in on some moral, that's wrong for you to act this way. But his brain can't hold what you're saying from the ether to have that behavior. Everything that this person does, everything that all of us do, is attached to brain functions, how that part of the brain developed, which causes you to make certain decisions that maybe other people wouldn't make because they did not develop the same way you developed. So their brain says, so there are
I'm glad you said it like that. I'm glad you said it like that because you're the asshole. I have the same condition and I had very few options in school like you, and I dealt with it.
You don't have
You're not the same. You're not
the same person. You're not the same. Bro, and again, like I said, it was so fascinating for me to hear these discussions go on. Because they basically was people debating whether or not some of these things are whatever. And in every case, the neuroscientists basically was smacking it down with, okay, this is people that grow up in these, we have the data. People that grow up in these certain type of environments, there is a part of their brain that doesn't blah, blah, blah. So they tend to make certain decisions that other people who did not have those things and did their brain don't make. They are physical changes that happen
Right.
to the brain when you grow up in certain environments. People that grow up in poverty-stricken, violent environments, there are physical changes that happen to your brain that does not happen to people who don't live in it. And we have the data to support and back this up. So a lot of the times the decisions they're making is based on how their brain developed. They can't pull that other shit that you're telling them that they need to do out from someplace else because this is what they are, the brain. Now, are there other experiences that come along later and their brain changes again? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But we're strictly talking about here this behavior you want from this person. They cannot pull that until they have the experience that helps change the neural patterns in their brain again. They can't. You're asking him to do something he physically.
You're asking the impossible.
Yeah.
Effectively.
And you're judging him for it.
And you're judging him for it.
You can literally say, if you were the person, the teacher in that case, how much it annoyed you. Because that is also true.
Absolutely.
That annoyed the fuck out of you.
And yeah, I hate the idea that you can't express that.
How that made you feel, right?
Yes, absolutely. Your feelings are still valid in this situation as it pertains to what the facts are.
You know what would have been a better thing? It would have been a better thing had the people that were talking the shit they was talking was like, when I read this, I was instantly annoyed because I put myself in the shoes of the teacher, right? Put myself in the shoes of the teacher. Like, oh my goodness, I tried to do the best I could do. It's only so much space in this room, and this all of them shit.
Right.
Like that at least would have, but the whole idea, the whole super judgmental shit based on this guy this is how his brain works. Like, what do you want him to do? Like, what are you supposed to do? Switch the brain out? Put that other brain in there that don't have that problem. Why'd you come to school today with that brain? Why'd you come to school with that brain?
Yo, you want a lobotomy?
Yo, listen. This is part of, I think, to a larger discussion that humanity has to have about these sort of things. About you are your brain, sir, and I can prove it. Like this is perfectly anecdotal, but you can repeat this. I went to school with a kid. He was part of the in crowd. Dressed a certain type of way. He had the temperament of people that would be in the in crowd. Girls liked him. Dudes respect him. He had that. That was him. He played baseball and got hit in the head with a hard ball. It cracked his skull and gave him brain damage. He left school for a while. Surgery, blah, 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 all of this stuff. He finally comes back to the school. He is not the same person. The way he dressed is different. His response to people was different. As a result, he went from being part of the top of the food chain of the people in the school to being at what they consider to be the low social rung of the school with the nerds and the this and the that and the blah, blah, blah. Completely changed his entire personality and who he was from brain damage. My brother was born with 3 holes in his heart. He had a heart attack when he was 5 years old and died on the operating table. For a certain specific amount of time, there was no oxygen going into his brain. That damage forever altered his responses to things, how he would react to things. And I was a kid too, and it pissed me off. And even as an adult, some of the things he did would piss me off. But the reality of the situation was that was the brain he had.
Yep.
That was the brain he had. And it was damaged. And as a result of that damage, there was going to be, especially around the centers of his decision-making shit, he wasn't the same. Who knows what he would have been had that situation not took place. Just going off of from what I was told about my biological father's temperament, my brother might have been wilder than me. He might have been,
right.
You know, I'm saying one of them, right? But because that happened to him, it irrevocably changed who he was as a person. You are your brains. And these and I think just as a group, as humanity has to have a conversation to understand we are our brains, B. The moment something happens to that, you're not the same person. Anything else that you want to apply to how our personality becomes that's outside of us, that's speculative at best. But what we do have is the brain to be able to examine and go, this is why he did that. This because the way his brain works, plus the outside stimulus that made him have to make a decision about it, that's how he responded to it.
Yeah.
And Jason just said, not to mention the brain's ability to trick itself.
Facts. All facts. Because you can only access what you have access to.
Yeah, yo, bro, that's just it. That's just it.
It's really that simple. Like,
and all of y'all mamas and grandmamas told y'all you can't get blood from a stone. All of them.
Bruh.
Told y'all that.
I just don't. I don't know, yo. Like, I don't understand how you arrive at the conclusion that everyone sucks here.
No,
I just don't.
I think you misunderstood, bro. He was talking about everybody in the comment section. Everyone sucks here. So you know.
Like, bro, what are we doing? Like the man clearly, like, okay, I don't.
It's crazy.
It bothers me. And to be fair, this is the last time I'll ever say this. That, well, my intention is to never say this again.
Right.
For some of these idiots, it's probably the same type of
thing.
Is.
It's 100% the same thing. The reason they respond the way they respond is because the way their brain works. That's what, bro. You can't pull it. You can't pull it from something else that's not there. This is what it is. This is what it is, bro. Look, I have the brain that I have. I have done things over the years because I tend to value it. So certain things, activities I did not involve myself in because I didn't want it to fuck up, and I knew it would fuck up anyway with age. I knew that's going to happen. I knew there was things in it that was already fucked up just from the way I grew up in the environment that I grew up in and certain decisions and the things. It's funny because me and my brother Marlon have talked about this before. The reason why most of us that come from those type of areas react violently to disrespect is because when you come from those areas, you don't have much.
Mm-hmm.
All you have is the perception that the people in your surroundings have of you, and that is what you consider to be respect. Like, motherfucker know that he one of them ones that's going to stand on his, he going to stand on business. And the moment somebody tries to do something to pull that away, that experience that we have, say, oh no, they're trying to take from me. Even if we don't say it, we don't verbalize it. You're trying to take from me the one thing I have that everybody around here values. And that's my fucking self-respect. By having these people think I'm some kind of whore. No, that's not happening. And I'm going to respond in a way that shows you and everybody else for all time to come that I am not the one to fuck with like that.
Right.
And that's why you'll see these situations spiral completely out of control. And people outside of this paradigm don't understand. Why would he crash out over that? You don't understand. This person, all they have is that.
Mm-hmm.
And this person is threatening to take that away. Have everybody see them a certain type of way, and they cannot allow it. Now, other experiences might come along, hopefully, in that person's life to show them and redirect those neural pathways into a way to say, no, the entirety of who I am is not wrapped up into that. You cannot define me by that. And hopefully those things actually do have an effect where it changes the way they would react to certain things. But you can't always guarantee that.
No, because here's the thing. The thing might happen and it might not change it.
Exactly.
For instance, hitting a lick. If you go from rags to riches, that's not the case anymore. However, the change might not have happened, and you still might react the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's how it goes.
It's complicated, It's not something that we can sit here and litigate and complete understanding of, because there are people that have gone to school for years and work in this practice and they're still debating. That's what I learned watching that debate, yo. Yeah.
And that's why we gave the grace that we gave.
Exactly.
Because no, none of this shit. First of all, especially in these days and times, you have to have interest in something in order to learn about it.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact.
And if you don't have anybody in your life who is dealing with these type of things, it is highly possible that you would have no interest in it and no reason to look into it. So you not knowing this particular thing is you not knowing this particular thing. Again, moving forward, I won't be trying to make excuses for people for being
because the way my brain works.
Facts, all facts. But like, in all honesty, yes, it's something that is actually probably a good percentage responsible for us being able to have the show that we have.
Yo, facts. One thing I'll leave y'all with from one of the things that one of the neuroscientists said, that we could probably change the world for the better in a lot of cases once a good portion of the populace understands this about how the brain works, and then we start legislating around the facts and we start making rules and stuff about the facts about how this works. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, and
it's real.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real. It's real. But
that's it. That's it.
We want to thank all of you once again for joining us for another rousing episode of Saturday Morning Cartoons, aka the Black Culture Geeks.
Yeah.
Do not forget that there is always music.
Always
new music.
Always and forever.
There's always old music.
Thanks.
Not just from us, but from our affiliates.
Absolutely.
Various different members. Adequate has music from back in the day that you can go and listen to right now. Run those.
And he said he didn't want to say it on here, but I think there's something. Yeah,
he's brewing something.
Yeah,
Graydon is brewing something. He talks about it periodically. He's brewing something. BCGz is always brewing something.
Absolutely.
I ain't got nothing for y'all. But
that's not true. He's lying. He's lying. He is lying. He is absolutely lying to you.
The way my brain works. Look,
that's so funny.
Also, do not forget to go check out Heard It Through the Grapevine with my sister Chrissy, his significant other Chrissy.
Yeah, especially Monday, because I'll be on there.
And Monday, it's right. He will be on there Monday as well. Also, do not forget ReaperLegion.com.
Absolutely.
It's live.
Get into it.
Yeah, get into it. Rep the Legion.
Facts.
Legion. You know what I'm saying?
Because we are many.
Facts. 100% facts. You know what I'm saying? And also, just for everybody here, like I said, we want to thank you guys for just being here every week.
Absolutely.
Look forward to doing the show because you guys are here. We can talk to y'all, laugh with y'all, all that other shit. All that other Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey bullshit that we pull every week.
Every single week.
You know what I'm saying? We really appreciate that from all of y'all. So,
100%.
My man, SBJ. I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.